What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So, guys, everyone in the stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd appreciate it. Let's get this live stream started, guys. David Benavidez, his father has come out and said, "Stop ducking David Benavidez. Fight us and forget about the Makabu fight." What's going on, H? I hope you're good. I hope you're all well. The first message, guys, make sure to smash the like button. Everyone smash the like button in the stream. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, H, I'm doing very well. I hope you're good as well. Um, yeah, guys, get your questions in. Everyone in the stream, get your questions in. Let's go. Let's start talking. How's it going? Last Bell Boxing's in the house. All good, brother. How are you? Hope you're good. Um, a lot going on. A lot going on with Whyte Fury. A lot to talk about. Also, Canelo being accused of ducking Benavidez. That's a good topic of discussion, guys. Get your questions in and let's get going. Oh yeah, let me get the link in there if anyone wants to jump on. I'm all good, last bell. I hope you're good as well, Carl. Anyone wants to jump on, you're more than welcome to jump on and let's talk some box. So H says, I don't get why Benavidez is still at 168 pounds, to be honest. I don't get it myself. He's too big. So Last Bell says, I think Whyte is pricing himself out of the Fury fight, to be honest. I'd have to agree. This is the second time he's done that. He had an opportunity. He got 4 million and he wasn't happy with the rematch clause or whatever in the Joshua situation. Now he's getting 5 million. I think it's 5 million plus pay-per-view, which is a lot of money. You know, it's a lot of money, you know, and then on top of that, he's getting a pay-per-view. It's more, yeah, but he's not getting 20%. He's getting more than that. He's getting more than that. He's getting 25. He's getting 25%, and they're offering him a guarantee of 5 million. So that's a lot of money to be turning down. Benavidez needs to move up and challenge himself. Yeah, he does. Yeah, defo. I will jump on. Yeah, no worries, Carl. Whenever you're more than welcome. Yeah, man. Benavidez does need to move up. He's a big guy, man. He needs to move up and start taking some challenges. Whyte will get the opportunity. Whyte will be silly if he blow. Well, he's been blowing a lot of opportunities. H. I don't know. I don't know if Whyte's serious, man. He's had a lot of opportunities and he seems to be turning them down. He needs to take the money, man. He needs to take the money and start fighting for it and fight for a heavyweight world title. That's what he's been craving for, you know, for a long time. That's what he's wanting. But it seems like right now he's coming across a bit difficult, to be honest. Everyone in the live stream, smash the like button. I'd appreciate it if you smash the like button. Get your questions in. Benavidez needs a breakout fight and needs to raise his profile, especially here in the UK. Benavidez, he ain't fighting nobody. He's fighting stiffs, fighting guys that, you know, are easily beatable. And then wants a big payday with Canelo. He needs to fight somebody, really. You know, if you look at all the other guys like Billy Joe, Caleb Plant, and Callum Smith, they've all had some kind of win. Look, Carl. I mean, look at what's his name? Callum Smith beat Groves. Caleb Plant beat Utsakatsi. You know, Caleb Plant beat Utsakatsi. Billy Joe, I know, although not at 168, he had a win over, you know, David Lemieux and Andy Lee. So, you know, at least they had some kind of win. But Benavidez has fought nobody. He fought Darrell, who was way, way past his best. Way, way, way past his best. You know, so, you know, he needs to step it up a little bit, if I'm honest with you. Get the questions in, guys. Get the questions in. Smash the like button as well if you're in the stream. And get those questions in. Get those questions in, guys. Waiting for you guys to join. The Brotherhood says the Benavidez is chasing a middleweight Charlo. Meanwhile, people clown Charlo for fighting 154-pounders. Yeah, Benavidez needs to chase 175-pounders. He needs to go up and look for a Beterbiev, Bivol, or a Smith fight, a Joe Smith fight. Why is he chasing Charlos for? What's that gonna do? That's not for a title. That's doesn't mean anything. Benavidez can't go to 160 to fight him for his title, can he? You know, he's too big. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. You know, he needs to move up, man. Guys, everyone in the stream, Let me get this. Let me get this in there. One sec, guys. Let me get this in there. I just saw something on Facebook. So H says he just saw something on Facebook about Benavidez been ducking Beterbiev for a while. Is this true? I don't know if he's been ducking Beterbiev, to be honest. There's no information on that, but he's effectively at 168. So you can't really call him ducking because he's not at that weight division, is he? But the fact is, in my opinion, he should be at that weight division. He struggled to make weight at 168, right? Why is he waiting around? What's he waiting around for? He should be fighting at 175. He struggles to make 168. You know what's he waiting around for? Canelo's not going to go back down to 168. So if he wants that fight, go up to 175 and look to become a champion there. Then Canelo has to fight him, right? Apparently he was number one mandatory for him if he moved up after losing belts because of missing weight. Apparently he was number one. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I'm not sure about that situation. Can someone definitely confirm that? I'm not sure. Steve Lopez says Benavidez needs a few significant fights. Be ready for Canelo. Maybe a Charlo and a Plant Saunders fight either. I don't know about Saunders, man. He seems like he's gone missing. I think he's gonna have to be lured back by some big money, which I don't think he's gonna get anytime soon. I don't think Saunders is gonna come back anytime soon. He's gonna need to have some big money put in his direction. So a Plant fight, I like that fight. I think a Plant fight is really good. I think a Plant fight makes a lot of sense. I think that would be a great fight. Plant v Benavidez. What do you guys think? Plant v Benavidez. I actually think that's a great fight, especially after Plant's performance. You have to give him a better chance against Benavidez. That's a good fight. I like that fight. I do like that fight a lot. I do like that fight. I think it's a great fight, and a fight that I'd be very interested in, to be honest with you. Very interested in. Guys, get your questions in. Get your questions in. I'm waiting for. So, last bell, super middleweight, historically is a strong division. Currently poor. 175 is a better division currently. More big fights. Yeah, it is. 168 is a very poor division at the minute. There's no one there. There's no one there. Like, who is there? If Canelo leaves there, what we got? Caleb Plant, Benavidez. That's it. Caleb Plant, Benavidez, and there's like some new guys coming through. There's that Lerone Richards, but these are unknown commodities. You know, these aren't world level fighters. Normally there's 6-7 guys, but that division's really poor. The Brotherhood says 168 division is the worst in boxing, and middleweight is second. Actually, middleweight is quite good, I would say. They've got Golovkin, Charlo, they've got Andre, they've got Murata, they've got Eubank. Saunders should be at that weight. So that division's actually not that bad, to be honest. That division's okay. That division's not that bad. So Eddie Usman says, my theory why Benavidez isn't moving up because he knows he will get destroyed by every elite fighter at 175 and has better chances at 168. Yeah, he's trying to use his weight advantage, that's what you're right there. His size advantage won't be there at 175. And those guys hit harder, and defensively Benavidez ain't that great. So Benavidez gets caught, he's in big trouble. He's in big trouble, and he knows that. So hence why he's trying to stay at 168. So Steve Lopez says, what do you think about Callum Smith in 175? Who gets a title first, Smith or Zudo? I don't know, to be honest. Both have a lot to prove still. Smith has a lot to prove. His last two performances at 168 weren't great, and a lot of people went off of him. So let's see what he can do at 175. And he's made a statement in his first fight. He knocked the guy out cold in a bad knockout. But again, he needs to now step up and fight somebody much better. And let's see how he gets on. It's not gonna be easy for Smith because some really great fighters at 175. Bivol, Beterbiev, Smith and Johnson ain't easy fights either. They're massive punches, so they're hard fights as well. So there's no easy route at 175. They're all tough. So Scratch Your Cheek says, middleweight is a good division. Sucks no fights are being made. Yeah, middleweight is a good division. And I think Andrade and Charlo would be a great fight. I think Golovkin and Charlo would be a good fight. I think Golovkin and Andrade would be a good fight. So the middleweight division is definitely good. I agree with that. I think there's a lot of fighters there. To be fair, Benavidez is still quite young. Yeah, he is young. But he's calling out Canelo, and he's calling Canelo a ducker. So he wants that fight. So he needs some other big. He needs big fights. He needs a fight. He needs a big name. So Brotherhood says Benavidez is 25. He's been juggling one belt for 5 years. Yeah, well, he got stripped, didn't he, of his WBC belt because he didn't make weight. I want to see Benavidez step up, to be honest with you. Benavidez needs to step up. I want to see David move to 175. I think he should be moving at 175 because he's too big for 168. He's a massive guy. He's a massive guy. You know, how big is Benavidez? Look, I saw Benavidez on the scale. I saw Benavidez on the scale before his fight against Kyron Davis. He looked drained. When I mean drained, I mean this guy his whole face was sucked in and he looked ill. You know what? I've been on these crash diets, so I know what it's like when you're feeling low or you're low on energy. This guy, his face was sucked in. See, I've had my face sucked in, so I know what it's like. He was, you know, that's not a good place to be at. And the reason why he's like that is because he's killing himself to make weight. You know, Benavidez is killing himself to make 168 because he's getting an advantage. You know, we call people like that weight bullies. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to use advantage of their weight. The Brotherhood Sports said outside of the top 5 at 160, the division sucks. Yeah, but compare that to 168. Compare that to 168 where there's literally nobody. You know, so you know the middleweight division still have a lot of good fights that can be made, but the 168 division, there's not a lot of good fights, bar not including Canelo. Benavidez plants a good one, but that's about it. Benavidez looks like a basic Margarito type fighter, nothing to get overexcited about. Yeah, well, to be honest, he needs a test. We don't know. He might be good, but we don't know. He's defensively very poor. Margarito had a great chin. Margarito had an unbelievable chin. You know, so it's hard to even say he's at that level. Benavidez v Tommy Fury is the fight we all want. Benavidez, nah, man. Tommy Fury's too green at this point. Benavidez would destroy him. He's too green at the minute. Tommy Fury's too green. Last Bell Boxing says, just going on to another subject, I stick to Bivol beats Beterbiev and Canelo and Callum Smith at 175. I don't know. I don't know about Bivol. I don't know. Again, Bivol, he's not looked too great in his last couple of fights. I don't know. I think that's another fighter that we don't know how good he is. You know what I mean? It's all speculation right now. It's all, I think he's good. I think he's this. But it's another fighter who hasn't really been tested. You know, he fought Joe Smith, I think, and he beat him. But Joe Smith is a guy that Bivol should be beating. I'm talking, you know, if we're talking about him fighting Beterbiev or fighting Canelo, that's a different level altogether from what he's operated at in his career. You know, so I need to see more from Bivol. Bivol's not had the fights. It's not his fault because Bivol wants to fight. But the fight that really needs to be made is Bivol Beterbiev. That's a great fight. And personally, I don't know whether that fight can be made. I think it can be made, actually, because I said this in one of my videos, that Bivol and Beterbiev, right? Beterbiev is with Bob Arum and Bivol is with Eddie Hearn. So those two do business together. So surely that fight should be able to be made, to be honest. I honestly don't think Benavidez is much at all, says JM84. Yeah, Benavidez he's overhyped at the minute. You know what I mean? He's overhyped. He hasn't done much to be given all this credit. You know, Benavidez is you know, he's a bit of a hype at the minute. So Last Bell says, stick to my view. Bivol does just enough to win and will raise his game against better opponents. Possibly, but until he proves it against better opposition, it's hard to say that. You know, it's hard. It's all speculation kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not sure about Bivol yet. Been watching boxing long enough to know when they're really good or not. He's just a C plus or B minus fighter. Who are we talking about? Bivol or Benavidez, JM84? Who are you talking about there? Benavidez or Bivol? Bivol needs to fight Zodo. That'd be a good fight. The Brotherhood that's a great matchup. Bivol needs to fight Gilberto Ramirez. You know, Gilberto Ramirez is like 44-0. And the guy, he's not had any no win of name. Like, he hasn't had any win that's of any note. I'm confused. Steve Lopez says Canelo is going to unify the 175 after his cruiserweight. You know, there's a lot of people that disagree with you, Steve Lopez. A lot of people, you know, it may well be, but there's a lot of people that disagree with you because they don't think Canelo will become undisputed at that weight, you know. So Benavidez, again, I'm ranting. Benavidez. So what about Bivol? JM84, what about Bivol? Is he the truth? I rate Bivol. So JM84 says I rate Bivol. Last belt boxing, Conor Benn. We don't know how good he is currently. However, never wins a world title in that weight division. Yeah, but Conor Benn is Conor Benn is, you know, he's very hyped at the minute. You know, he's nah, not for me until he proves himself against someone. And the fact is, it's really frustrating with Conor Benn because he keeps calling out old men. Last Bell says, I cannot wait for the Charles Martin fight on the first fight of the year. Contender 2000. You know, that is on pay-per-view. Charles Martin with Ortiz. Ortiz is going to destroy that guy. You know, that ain't a fight. Ortiz will knock him out in the first 3 rounds, in my opinion. That's on pay-per-view as well. I think that's 50 quid. Wow. Who's going to pay for that? I didn't say undisputed. I said unified. Beterbiev 2 and Bivol 2. Yeah, but that's undisputed. So what do you mean by unify? You mean like holding 2 belts? What's the point of that? So Ryan Lamb comes in with a comment. Bivol is a hype job at best. Wow. Bivol is a hype job at best. Wow. Get Conor Benn in with a live opponent for crying out loud. Yeah. In my opinion, a fight with Conor Benn should be fighting someone decent, you know. Little Penny, my man Little Penny's in the house. What's going on, Little Penny?
Hi, Imran. How are you?
Little Penny, you there?
Yes.
Little Penny?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Little Penny, you there?
Can you hear me?
Little Penny's not there. So Jose the Great says Tank has proven that people will play anything. Yep. Tank has proven people will pay anything. What do you mean by that? Ryan Lamb, I'll have a pint of what you've been drinking. Bivol is class. He's better than Benavidez. Yeah, he's much better. I would agree with you there. I'd agree with you there. He is better than Benavidez for sure. JM84 says different weights, of course, but a better. Why Imran? We could hear Little Penny, so why couldn't I hear him? Little Penny, you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. What's going on? You all right? I couldn't hear you.
Good, man.
I couldn't hear you for some reason. And then Carl just said that they could hear you, but I couldn't hear you.
Okay, no worries, man.
Yeah. So basically, there's some news I want to talk to you about, Little Penny. Benavidez's trainer, or his dad is his trainer, has come out and said that David Benavidez is a better fight than Makabu, and Canelo is ducking that fight with David Benavidez, saying that, you know, Canelo doesn't want to fight us. He's scared. He doesn't want to fight us, and he's avoiding that fight. He's ducking that fight. What do you make of it? What do you make of that? You know, them basically attacking Canelo like that. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you make of it?
First thing, Imran, can I just say,
Yeah.
I saw Carl's video about who's the most affluent promoters based on Forbes, and Forbes had Stephen Espinoza at number 7. And Stephen Espinoza isn't even a promoter. I thought that was hilarious.
He's a broadcaster. He's part of a broadcast team, isn't he?
Yeah,
Showtime.
Isn't he the president of Showtime?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he's not a promoter at all.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Anyways, but yeah, no, I disagree with that because in fact it's actually David Benavidez's fault for missing weight and losing his belt at the scales. And had he not done that, he would have fought Canelo, because Canelo views the WBC belt as the prestigious out of the four, and
Yeah.
had he not lost that belt, Canelo would have fought him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But this is what I mean. Do you have the same assumption as me that Benavidez is struggling to make 168? Because if you saw his last fight against Kyron Davis, his face he looked really drained, really drained. I don't think he should be at that weight, little Penny. Um, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think he should be at 175 fighting the likes of Bivol and Beterbiev?
Yeah, I agree. And in fact, didn't he weigh in at 169 in his last fight?
Did
I
he?
don't think he even.
Did he miss
I
weight
don't think.
again?
No, no, I don't think that. I think it was at a catch weight at
Oh
169 or
right,
something
okay.
like that.
So
Yeah,
doesn't
because
that
he
give you?
definitely.
Doesn't that tell you what he needs? So no, but I reckon for a Canelo fight, he probably would make 168. But he's killing himself, little Penny. You can
Yeah,
tell. I can tell when someone's struggling at the weight. You know, I've dieted myself and done all these crash. Like I know, like I've had my face sucked in. I know when a guy is struggling, and he's
yeah,
struggling. He is struggling big time. And remember, he's young. He's not even that
yeah,
old, and he's
yeah,
struggling. So that tells you that this guy is too big for 168. He's too big, little Penny. He's too
yeah. I
big.
agree.
You know,
I agree.
Beterbiev. You know, Beterbiev is 36 years of age, right? He
Yep.
struggled to make weight. You know, but Beterbiev's at the end of his career, little Penny. He's 36 years of age. And when I mean end of his career, like when you get to 36, your body's not gonna your body's at its peak in the sense that, you know, Beterbiev now, it gets harder to cut off weight. So I can understand Beterbiev struggling a little, you know, 1 ounce here and there, because it gets harder as you get older to get rid of those extra pounds. And as you know, little Penny, Beterbiev's a big guy.
Yeah, anyway, I didn't know that Batavia was struggling to make 175. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's a big dude, man. I think he fought. I won't be surprised. Did he fight? He fought Usyk and all those guys as a amateur.
Yeah,
You know, and he's struggling. Like not struggling. Like when I mean struggling, I mean like, you know, those last ounce to get off.
yep,
It's always hard at that age. You're 36. It's hard. It's really hard. You know, he got it
yeah,
off in the end. He got it off. But you know, Batabiev's 30, he's 35, 36, man. You know what I mean? So he's at the end of his career, so to be. Benavidez is struggling. Normally, when you're young, right, you don't struggle to make weight as much unless you're really killing yourself to make weight. Unless you're at a weight class which you're really struggling. I don't know why boxers do that. They do it to gain an advantage. And I know what you said the other day, little Penny, that if you make the weight, you make the weight. But Benavidez is obviously having issue making the weight. That's why he's not made it so many times, right?
yeah. One way to tell if the guy is struggling weight at the weigh-in is to look at his face. If
Yeah,
he
yeah,
looks like he's a zombie,
yeah,
kind of like when Brandon Rios he tried to make weight at 135 or
yeah,
even 140 sometimes. His face looks like a zombie. That's when you know
yeah.
he's struggling to make weight. Also, when Pacquiao fought Marquez the second time at 130, he struggled to make weight too. If you look at his face, he looks like a zombie. You know what I mean? That's why he went to 35.
This is the point I'm trying to make, is that Benavidez should be fighting at 175, and he probably has more chance of getting Canelo. But here's the thing, little Penny. He's afraid of getting knocked out at 175 because you got bigger guys there, bigger punchers.
Yeah, kind of like reminds me when Chavez had such a great advantage at 160,
Hmm.
and then when he went to 168, he got knocked out. Remember?
That's the thing. That's the thing. He's afraid. See, look at all these comments coming in. The Brotherhood said Benavidez, he's fought above 168 11 times in 25 fights.
Yeah, missed weight. No, 11, no, I'm just joking. But
So 11 times out of the 25 fights, little Penny, he's been above 168.
and he looks big too. Like he looks really big. He shouldn't even be at 168. Like he should be at 175. Like you can see that immediately. Like he's just a big guy.
Let me ask you a question, little Penny. Benavidez v Callum Smith, who wins at 175?
Benavidez, Callum Smith. I'm high on Benavidez, Imran.
Yeah, yeah.
I like his hand speed, And it's
Yeah.
not like Callum Smith has fought there. I think he's only fought there once, right? Recently.
Yeah. He's fought there once.
Well, Benavidez fought there 11 times, as the Brotherhood Sports says.
Yeah.
A few of those
Yeah.
times you probably missed weight, but
Yeah.
no. But in all seriousness, I do like his hand speed. His hand speed
Mm,
is really good.
mm,
He probably needs to work on his defense a little bit,
mm,
but I love his hand speed, man. It's so fast.
mm.
He probably stays in the pocket a little bit too long, kind of like Amir Khan. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he probably needs to get out of the way there.
But the difference is with Amir Khan is that Amir had very fast feet. Benavidez is flat-footed.
Yeah, true. But at that weight, you expect
Yeah.
him
I
to
get
be
what you're saying.
flat-footed.
Yeah. But still, you gotta have some like he. I don't feel like he has a lot of athleticism. You know what I mean? And his defense is very poor.
Yeah, it is. He gets hits a lot.
And does he have power, Little Penny? Does Benavidez really have power? Because he ain't hurting any of these guys.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like when Chavez had heaps of Harry. When Chavez had heaps of power at 160, and then when he moved to 168, that power was not there anymore because the guys are just too big.
Rare Breed. Let me ask Rare Breed because I know Rare Breed's high on Benavidez as well. Rare Breed. Does Callum Smith beat Benavidez?
Absolutely not.
I knew you were gonna say that. Explain why.
Talent. The skills gap is way too big. Toughness, everything. Like, there's nothing that Callum Smith does better than David Benavidez. Nothing.
Do you not think he has a better jab?
No.
Callum Smith?
And David doesn't even really use the jab, but he could if he wanted to. But he doesn't do anything better than him. And at 175, that's really more his natural weight class. So if they fought at 175, he'd destroy him.
Is Benavidez a weight bully then, Rare Breed?
Yeah, but I think like most of these guys you can be called weight bullies. Like Canelo, I mean not Canelo, but Earl Spence. Even my guy Joran Ennis, you could call a weight bully, kind of.
Yeah.
So I feel like most of modern day boxers are not in their natural weight class.
Ennis is not struggling to make 147. He's a big
No,
guy,
but that's because Joran is different. He's super dedicated. Like it's kind of weird.
Yeah, we know that. We know that Benavidez isn't dedicated. We heard it of his ill disciplines outside of the ring. But I don't know, man. I think Benavidez is okay. Does Benavidez beat Beterbiev, Rare Breed?
I don't know about that one. That'd be an interesting fight. It depends. That's a 50-50 fight to me, which is what boxing fans want to see, right? 50-50 fights.
Yeah.
To me, David Benavidez is good. Like, I feel like this is what I've noticed about boxing fans. Like, when your favorite fighter has a guy who can be considered a threat, they like to try to downplay that guy. Like, I hear Spence and Crawford fans try to say, "Oh, well, Boots hasn't fought anybody. But he hasn't earned an Earl Spence fight or whatever." Like, when you hear that kind of talk, that's a sign of a guy that could potentially beat your guy. So you try to down talk him. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I don't know though. I think that's a bit of a different situation because Ennis looks the goods. I don't know about Benavidez. I'll be honest. I know Benavidez has been a champion and stuff, but I still man. I'm not.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
He looks more the goods than any of the guys that Canelo has fought recently.
Yep.
Do you think he's better than Caleb? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Absolutely, Caleb. This is what a Caleb Plant and Benavidez fight will look. Caleb will be able to maybe frustrate him for like the first couple of 5 rounds or so, but eventually Dave Benavidez is gonna wear him down and knock him out. Caleb Plant is not Floyd Mayweather. He's not gonna make a guy miss for 12 rounds and just outbox him, especially a guy like Dave Benavidez who's got a motor. David Benavidez is gonna get him out of there eventually. If you watch Caleb Plant's fights, he slows down the later rounds. Like his fight against Ustaki, what's his name?
Utsakatsi, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. In the late rounds, he was starting to catch Caleb which is exactly what happened to Canelo, and that's why Canelo got him out of there. David Benavidez would do the same exact thing.
Yeah, I agree, Rare Breed. I think that's why a lot of people want to see Benavidez Canelo. And also,
Yep.
just one last thing about the weight, making the weight or weight bully. I think when you make the weight, I think it's all fair.
Yeah.
Because it works either way. Like if you're a weight bully, right, you're probably going to struggle to make weight.
Mm-hmm.
Hence you're going to be like
Slower.
your power is not going to be there as much because you spent so much time making weight, and plus you're not training as well because your training is the scales. Whereas the other guy who's not struggling with, like say Pacquiao, for example, his training is about the strategy of the fight because he doesn't have to worry about making weight. So it all evens out, man. So I don't believe in that weight bully stuff.
Yeah, good point. Good point there, Little Penny. You made a strong. That's a good
True.
point, actually. Yeah, it's a good point, but I'm not convinced about Benavidez. I think I need to see him fight somebody more credible. I want to see him go and fight at 175. So I don't know. I want to see Benavidez fight Plant or fight somebody. If he can't get the Canelo fight, which he's not gonna get next, then maybe go up at 175 and look for as they were saying, Gilberto Ramirez fight. That's a good fight.
He's by far, Dave Benavidez is by far the biggest threat at 168. Caleb Plant, I mean, Caleb Plant's resume is nothing to brag about. Like,
no, it's
yeah,
not.
I understand he had a belt, but Canelo didn't fight him based because he had a good resume or anything like that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Like, before he lost his belt at the weight scales, Dave Benavidez was the top guy at 168.
Correct. Yes,
So,
I agree.
Do you think he was ahead of Callum Smith? I think Callum was ranked number 1.
no, like, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I'm going to say it. To me, like, UK fighters, they don't really, I don't really respect them until they fight on outside of the UK and beat guys outside of the UK. Like Josh Taylor, Fury, those guys have done that. Like the domestic level fighters like Callum Smith, I don't really have a lot of respect for them, to be honest.
Fair enough. Good. That's strong points actually, because I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that. I do think Callum Smith's resume, he's not beat anybody of note. His best wins against the washed up George Groves, really.
And he lost to Ryder, in my opinion.
Yeah. I thought he lost that one as well, to be fair. So yeah, I get what you're saying. I do agree. I do agree with what you're saying there.
Canelo, it's
Billy
weird.
Joe? What about Billy Joe?
Billy Joe, I don't know. Billy Joe, I mean, who has Billy Joe really beaten? He's beaten Eubanks and he's beaten who else? Groves?
Lemieux.
No. He beat David Lemieux.
I mean, those are decent wins, but
yeah,
the thing about Billy Joe, he didn't going into that fight. It looked like he was like he just wanted a payday. Like he didn't really seem like he was really confident that he could win. Like Caleb Plant at least talked the talk that he seemed like he was like going for the win. Like he wasn't afraid of Canelo. But Billy, what's his name? Billy Saunders.
Yeah.
Seemed like he was almost intimidated by Canelo. This is what I saw.
Well, Last Bell Boxing is saying, what about American fighters coming to the UK and fighting? American fighters don't really come to the UK, and fight.
Well,
he's got a good point there.
But let's be real. The best trainers and in general, the best fighters overall come from America. So why would they go to the UK?
Or Mexico too.
Or Mexicans for that matter. It's not being biased. It's just the truth. Historically, even Tyson Fury, he dropped his trainer Davidson for an American trainer in what's his name?
Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill at Crunk Gym. And look what they did to him from against Wilder. Like he's a completely new fighter. Like so that's why.
Same with AJ. AJ's gonna probably pick an
American. To be fair, you got a good point. Look, when Amir Khan got knocked out by Brady's Prescott, he ditched his UK trainer and got Freddie Roach, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that you do make some. Yeah, there's some good points there. I know though. I think.
Canelo trains where?
Hey,
Where does Canelo train?
in
San
America.
Diego.
Exactly. He's not training in Mexico or anywhere else. He's training in the United States.
Hmm.
So it's not being biased. It's just the reality. Like the best training, the best sparring you can have is in the States.
Hmm.
Hey, Imran, who's this
Mm-hmm.
Ronaldo guy?
Ronaldo.
Yeah,
Oh,
in
that's
your.
Ash. That's Ash. That's
Was
Ash.
it Ash? Oh, okay.
So Callum Smith. Carl says that he thinks Callum Smith beats Benavidez. But okay, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Errol Spence came to the UK and beat Kell Brook. That was a good win. That was a
Yes,
great win. You know,
it was.
he came to the UK and actually beat Kell Brook in his backyard, which was, you know, you got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
But Kell Brook did the same thing. He went to America
Yeah,
and
And beat Sean Porter.
he beat Sean Porter. Yeah. So, you know, but I do agree with Rare Breed in the sense that UK fighters do that a lot less. Americans don't really come over to the UK, don't really come over to the UK, the big ones. Like, that's why I got a lot of respect for Errol Spence, because he came over and fought Brook in his backyard and beat him good in his backyard as well. So you gotta give Spence a lot of credit for that, you know.
Yep.
And you know, Imran, British judges, they don't have the reputation of ripping the international fighter off. Kind of like, unlike, say, if you fight in Germany.
I wouldn't say that, Little Penny. Not of late, anyway.
No?
I think some of the decisions have been shocking.
Okay.
I think some of the decisions have been terrible, to be honest. I remember Kiko Martinez getting ripped off against Zelfa Barra. You know, there's been many poor, but there's been many rippings off, to be honest. So I don't know. I think it's just I'm not sure about that at this point. I think maybe 6-7 years ago, maybe different, but now, I think the judges are a worldwide issue now, man. It's become quite a chronic problem in boxing, you know. Even in America, in America, and that it was always bad. Like Lennox got robbed against Evander, you know. That's always been an issue, you know. So yeah, and I remember Kovalev fighting Andre Ward. Andre Ward didn't win that first fight.
Yeah, sure.
No, it was closer than people want to give credit for, though.
Hey.
It was closer than people want to give credit for.
Yeah, but it was closer. But the thing is that was,
yeah.
I think everything in that fight suggested Kovalev won. He knocked Ward down, right?
Yeah.
The fight was very close, and I know it doesn't work like that, because scoring doesn't work like that, you know. But I just don't see how, like, if you're gonna give that to someone, how you don't give it Kovalev. Do you know what I mean?
Even if you have a split, you gotta use the knockdown as like the decider.
Yeah. And even in the second fight, I thought Kovalev was winning that until he got caught, you know?
Yeah, those low blows, man, they were bad. They reminded me of Tito Trinidad when he used to do that low blows, man.
I don't think they were low blows. I think
he was
Kovalev,
done though. Anyway, he was done at that point. Right hand did him. Like, you know, that right hand Kovalev, he was done, mate. He was
Kovalev,
gone.
it might sound unfair, but Kovalev is kind of like a heavy drinker. So when you have that as a problem, you're going to be weak to the body.
Rare Breed, you know, Kovalev was a beast, you know, in his prime. I rated
Oh, yes, he was. Absolutely. That jab was ridiculous. It's like a power punch.
Yeah, he was a monster, man.
I have tremendous respect for Eastern European fighters.
Like Usyk and Lomachenko and that.
Yep, Usyk, all those guys.
They're good fighters, man. Did you see what Usyk did to Joshua, a Rare Breed?
Yes, I did. Joshua, I'm sorry, like he talked about after the fight, you know, I need to he basically talked about how he needs to like gain some heart. Yeah. It's not something you can like teach or learn. Like you either got it or you don't.
Yeah.
He had it though, Rare Breed. He had it, but he lost it.
What's his name? Andy Ruiz took it out of him. Like
Yeah,
why would you
yes.
try to outbox a master boxer like Usyk?
And
Mm.
Rebreed also in the rematch against Ruiz, he tried to like box him. Like, dude, when the guy has knocked you out, like this, I'll give you a difference. When Lennox Lewis got knocked out against Hasim Rahman, right? In the rematch, he did the same thing. He knocked him out. You know what I mean? He didn't try to like tiptoe around the ring. Whereas
Uh-huh.
like with AJ, he got not only knocked out against Ruiz, he got embarrassed. So when that happens, you got to do the same thing to the other guy, especially if you're the more talented, the more stronger, the taller, longer. You know what I mean? Whereas he was fighting really scared in that fight, and I think that's the reason why I
He's
think
too
like his
nice.
heart, yeah, and his
Like
heart got taken out in New York, man. Seriously.
to be a boxer, in my opinion, you gotta have a killer instinct. I don't think AJ has that.
Mm.
No, I think he had it. I think he just lost it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I know it sounds bad, but you know when Wilder talks about like decapitate his opponent in the ring,
Mm.
you kind of have to have that as a boxer. To be honest with you, like
Yeah,
Mm.
Redbury, that's the thing. See, like with Wilder, right? He totally got embarrassed in the rematch, right? And
mm-hmm.
then in the third fight, he went for it, like all in. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Where he was like trying to like he was trying to kill Fury in there. That's
yeah,
something that AJ didn't do in the rematch against Ruiz.
yeah. Wilder has more heart, which that's the best guy he got this far off of heart and that
Mm.
right hand.
Power, yeah.
That's basically it, which is actually remarkable if you think about it.
Yeah, it is. Especially when he started boxing quite late, 21.
Hey,
Yeah,
Imran,
most guys like Fury and those guys, they've been boxing since they were children.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes a big difference, you know.
Absolutely.
Makes a big difference because like obviously you've been doing something from a young age. Yeah, that shows how great Wilder is. I want to ask you guys though. So Benavidez just said that Benavidez literally just said that, you know what, his trainer, his coach, his dad basically said that Canelo needs to forget about this Makabu fight and fight Benavidez,
Mm-hmm.
right? Are you guys in line with what his dad's saying, or would you not mind him fighting Makabu? What do you guys think?
Yes, because that way, to me, he would truly be undisputed at 168. Because to me, David Benavidez is the most dangerous man at 168, and
Mm.
that's like it's like the final boss in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
David Benavidez is that final boss. Like you're not truly undisputed until you take that guy out, in my opinion.
yeah, that's a good point. The final boss, like yeah, in those Nintendo games. Hey, I want to
Yeah.
hear what Ash thinks about that.
Ash, what do you think?
What about Canelo fighting Benavidez?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Little Penny. They should fight Benavidez.
And not Makabu.
Nah, no need.
No,
You don't get
that
anything
was
from
a waste of time.
fighting Makabu.
No,
He gets a
I mean you
belt.
could
He gets
say
a
he's a
belt
five
at
weight.
one cruiserweight.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
He gets a belt at cruiserweight.
yeah,
but
but it's not the
yeah,
best cruiserweight. So people can always say, well, it was the worst guy, the worst champion at cruiserweight. But if he beats David Benavidez,
Hmm.
that's a guy in his prime, a young guy who's dangerous, and a lot of people think can actually beat you. This be the
Mm-hmm.
first time that Canelo has fought a guy that people actually think that can actually beat him, and he actually beat him. So that'd be huge for his legacy. Like I always say, fighters do more for your legacy as far as belts and going undisputed.
Do you actually think? I don't know though about that. I don't know whether Benavides can beat him though, Rare. Like
But
I
maybe
know
not
you're
you.
high on Rare. I know you're high on Benavides. I don't think he can, man. I think like if you're talking Beterbiev, yeah, I agree. I think Beterbiev can, but
Hmm.
Benavides, I'm not convinced, man. I'm not convinced. I'm not really that interested in that fight. I want to see Beterbiev.
I agree. So look, maybe not you, but there are a lot of people who think that Benavidez can beat him or at least give him a good fight. Uh,
Mm,
as well as Bertabiev, the Russian,
mm,
Bivol. I'm not so sure about Bivol.
mm.
Who else? Charlo and Andrade. Those
Yeah.
guys. Any one of those guys. It's not asking too much for him to fight one of those guys.
And Rare Breed, it's a Mexican American Mexican versus a Mexican fighter, kind of like De La Hoya versus Chavez. So I think that's a great fight, and I do think that Benavidez can trouble him because of his size.
Yep.
Imran,
And he's tough.
I think if he fights Beterbiev and beats Beterbiev, you can say, he's a great fighter, because normally when he fights any other fighter, he's always the favorite. So,
exactly.
So, if he goes in with Beterbiev, even though he may be still the favorite slightly, but he's the only guy that's going to be close enough, as you know what I mean, in betting wise, that he's going to beat him. Because it boils down to he's got to fight someone where he is not the favorite, and when he wins that fight, then you can say he's great. Other than that, he's not great.
Yeah, Imran. When you win those 50-50 fights, that does 10 times more for your legacy than going undisputed in a weight class against a guy like Caleb Plant or Billy Joe Saunders. The names mean more than the titles.
Just for example, Imran, Manny Pacquiao fought Oscar De La Hoya, even though Oscar De La Hoya was at the back end of his career, maybe, but he was Manny Pacquiao was going to get killed in that fight. But he showed his greatness and beat him and retired him. But Canelo has had that challenge yet. Every time he goes in with someone, regardless of the champions, he's the favorite. Maybe even in Triple G, I'd say he was the favorite, because
I don't know about Triple G. I think Triple G.
But at least that was 50-50.
But in regards to the rest of them, your Billy Joes and your Callum Smiths and the rest of them, he was going to win anyway. He was the favorite.
But the problem is, there's no one there. Like, even like you're saying, there's no one there apart from even against Andrade and Charlo, he'd be a massive favorite in those fights.
If he fights Usyk and beats Usyk at a weight that Usyk is happy with as well, regardless of him going up there, because remember, this to be great, you got to challenge yourself. You can't just, you got to let the other person have the advantages as much as you. For example, he's going up to, say, I don't know, 174, whatever that weight is, cruiserweight, whatever that weight is at. Usyk's coming down to, it's better for Usyk because he's always campaigned at that rate. But that's what shows you're great if you're going to go up there and beat Usyk. You understand what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah, but don't you think Usyk is a bit too much, though?
But that's the whole point, man. That's the whole point. Don't you think Oscar De La Hoya was too much for Manny Pacquiao?
Yeah, at the time, yes. A lot of people.
So this is the thing. This is why everyone. That's when everyone knew, Manny Pacquiao is here to stay. He's special.
There's a difference there, though, Ash, because Oscar De La Hoya, like you said, was at the end of his career.
Usyk but like I said, there's no one near. If you want a mirror image of Oscar De La Hoya, there's no one at that level right now that he could fight, though, besides Usyk, to show how great he is. Beterbiev, yes, but we still know that, Beterbiev, back end of his career, is 36, 37. By the time he fights him, he's an old man as well. So, you can't really take much away from that as well, because Canelo's in his prime. So when you're going to Usyk, yes, like I said, he has to let the other fighter have a bit of advantage. That he has to be the bigger guy, he has to be the smaller guy, for example. But then he has to shows his greatness. If you're gonna say you're one of the greatest fighters, like look at who just says that Chavez, the Mexicans love him because he didn't avoid anyone. No matter who he was, he'll fight him tomorrow. You know what I mean? It was a different era. Yes, it was a different era then. But
I'd agree.
Remember, if it makes sense, what I'm trying to say is, for him in this era to do something great and to be put against, like, Mayweather and Pacquiao and that, he has to go up there and fight someone like a Usyk and beat them, and then say, look, hold on, I am special, because who can do that?
Yep, and it's not just Chavez. De La Hoya, I know he's kind of a clown outside of the ring, but in the ring, De La Hoya fought everybody. He fought Whitaker. He fought Floyd. He fought Bernard Hopkins. He fought Chavez. He fought what's his name, Vargas. Ike Cortez. He fought everybody.
Yeah,
he did.
Also, with the De La Hoya Pacquiao thing, before the fight, no one was saying De La Hoya was shot or he was like at the end of the career. In fact, the topic of discussion was De La Hoya was too big for Pacquiao. In fact, that's what ESPN said to De La Hoya as well. They asked him, like they said, Oscar, why are you fighting a smaller guy? He's only at 135. In fact, that was his first fight at 135. Why aren't you fighting like someone else? Like, you know what I mean? And then after the fight, that's when you saw that he was shot. But before the fight, no one was talking about that. You know what I mean?
Let's get Steven in. Let's get Steven in, see what he has to say about it. Steven, Benavidez is putting pressure on Canelo. He's saying, Steven?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Basically, Benavidez' coach is saying that, Canelo is ducking. He's ducking the fight. The Makabu fight is worthless. He needs to fight us. What do you make of that?
I mean, you don't think he's right? I think he's right. I mean, why? It still puzzles me to this day. Why go all the way up to cruiserweight to fight Makabu when you got people, and I hear people. I heard your commentary early on your video, and I commented. But this is what I'm saying, man. Listen, everybody keeps saying that he ain't got nobody to fight at 168. You do. You got Benavidez. You got you got Jamal. You got you got David Morrell. You got David Morrell Jr. David Morrell Jr. is straight gangster, man. That dude, he could knock anybody out. Anybody.
Yep.
So why
David Morrell is not ready for Canelo yet, Stephen? Don't you think?
Come on, man.
We don't know that.
David Morrell is a killer, dude. That dude's
but
a
not
killer,
yet,
man.
though. Not yet. He's still green, man. He's still green. Don't you think?
Did you say the same thing about Boots?
Yeah, but come on, man. You can't compare. Boots is different to David Morrell.
Not really. They're both high class talent.
I think Boots is better than Morrell. Like he's blasting dudes out of there, and he looks like something else.
I'll say this: Morrell will give Canelo a tougher fight than Caleb Plant. Canelo's not gonna walk through Morrell like he did Caleb Plant. Morrell can actually punch.
I agree, man. David Morrell's gangster, man. He's a beast, dude. That dude's a killer, man. So
Puerto Rican.
That dude with the business, man. So
but I don't compare him to Boots, though. You know what I mean? Like he's not.
Okay, well, I just made that analogy because you're saying that he's not right. He's not ready for him, and you can't really say that.
Boots is ready. Boots is ready. Like Boots is ready for the top guys at 147, 100%. Well, I don't think Morrell is ready for Canelo at this particular point. He needs to fight like maybe Benavidez or someone.
I mean, yeah, he need to fight Wavy Davy, man. I mean, you need to go ahead and stop. Think
about it, Stephen. Do you think Boots is ready for Crawford?
Nah.
I think you're ready for Crawford. I don't know if he beats Crawford though.
Hold on, Steven.
And that's another thing we're doing. I think we hyping Boots up.
No, I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that why is everyone hyping this guy up so much? Look, he's good, yeah. I'm not hyping him up. Just saying, I've heard Imran saying, he's ready. I know Steven just maybe said he's not. I know LP saying he's ready. Who's this guy fought that he's ready to beat Crawford and Spencer? I want to know.
Yeah.
Eye test, my brother. Eye test.
They don't want to They don't want to fight him.
Eye test. It's who you're in there with though. Eye test can be it's receiving. When you're in there with someone top caliber, then you see eye test. When you're with someone that's average.
No.
Well,
let me tell you why. Triple G, in the beginning of his career, people were saying that he fought nobody, but just by watching him, based off of pure skills, you knew Triple G was a gangster. Like our friend was saying.
No, but listen, let me say something. Let me just jump in there. Triple G is only gangster because Triple G could take a punch. So we don't even know if Ennis can take a punch. So you're watching him beating guys up that are not on his level, but saying he's ready for Crawford. That's what I'm trying to say. The point I'm trying to make is he's not for no one on the level.
Let's go. Okay, LP. So let's go off of the similar opponents they've had. Van Heerden, the guy who fought Earl Spence, the South African dude. He said that Jerron Ennis hits way harder than Earl Spence. So that one right there alone indicated that this guy might be different.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what someone a beating of his life, and you just want to say maybe that Earl Spence is hits hard because the beating he took. Everyone must have seen that fight, so we're talking about.
Man, Jerron was beating him too until he died.
He really took a beating from Earl. Though he took a beating, dude.
Listen,
Jerron was about to get him out there in the first round. That's the difference.
Let me tell you something. Ennis, is a good fighter. Yes, he's up and coming. he needs to fight someone. Like, there's levels in it. You can't just, you're saying, yeah, I test.
Nobody wants to fight Jaron Ennis.
Yeah,
Like,
what is
exactly?
they want to. As soon as they hear his name, they shut the door and put a lock on it. You know what I mean?
No, not really.
Sean Porter.
Not
Sean
really.
Porter, who's willing to fight everybody, says he doesn't want to fight him at all. This was last like 6 months ago.
The only way Ennis is going to get to fight is Ennis is going to have to get in a mandatory position. Otherwise, they're not going to fight Ennis. They're not going to fight. I'm telling you, they're not going to fight Ennis because he's too. Why would Danny Garcia want to get in the ring with Jaron Boots Ennis? What does he gain from that? The guy's a monster. He's knocking everybody out. And what does Garcia get to fight Ennis? Nothing.
Jaron destroyed Danny Garcia.
No, I agree. Yeah, but the problem is that that would be a test, right?
Imran, check it out. I agree. I do agree. Okay, now in terms of somebody like Sean Porter would be a complete savant idiot if he got in the ring with Boots or even Danny Garcia. Okay, but I'm just saying we do this all the time in boxing. We crown people before they ready. Now, am I gonna say that Jaron Boots ain't with the business? He with the business. We already know he with the business. But to say that he can do X, Y, and Z, and then you on the other hand, then turn around and say David Morrell Jr. He just like he's shortcoming. That's kind of shortchange Morrell Jr. That's
okay. Here's the thing, Stephen. Look at Morrell. Look at Morrell. You've seen Morrell, right? You've seen Ennis. You tell me what you think of those two fighters.
I think they both.
I think they both.
Yeah. I think they both. I think they both good with them paws. I think they both got squabbles. Both of them. They both of them do. Now, there's a lot of fighters for that matter that I would put on Boots level right now. You gonna tell me that Montana Love ain't no killer? You gonna tell me that Gary Anton Russell Jr. ain't no killer?
Yeah, Gary Anton Russell is. Gary Anton Russell, I'll give you that one. But
Montana but Love, you lost me at Montana Love.
Montana
Love.
Okay, I'll give that to you. Okay,
Montana Love isn't Gary Antoine Russell though.
No, he's not.
He ain't.
Listen. You can give the eye test all you like, man. End of the day, what do people talk about? You talk about resumes. End of the day, to become a champion, like you said, you got to fight the best. Imran's saying right now, no one wants to fight him. Remember this.
You know what's funny? People were saying the same exact thing about Earl Spence when he first started. Who has he fought?
But listen to what I'm saying.
It only happened when Kell Brook finally gave him a chance. But before that, nobody wanted to fight Earl Spence.
But the question was, can Boots Ennis beat Crawford now? And that's what we're saying. How can he beat him now? Of what has he done?
He would.
He would.
There's no doubt in my mind that he would.
No way he would, man.
I think
he'll give Crawford a tough fight. He might even beat. He might be even beat. But I ain't gonna shortchange now.
Let me tell you the difference between Boots and these other prospects. These other prospects, even including guys from the past like Earl Spence, those guys are good, potentially great fighters. Boots is special.
Let me say one thing to you before when you compare Earl Spence to this Boots, right? I'm sure Earl Spence, if I'm not mistaken, had about 20 fights or something when he fought Brook. How many fights this guy had? 29 or something.
30.
And the point I'm making is, who has he fought that you can say, he whooped him.
Well, it's because
you can't say that, man. 30 guys and he doesn't fought no one. Look at Lomachenko.
Jaron is having some issues with his promotion company. Those are things that he can't control.
You think people are shouting at the top of the hills that we want Lomachenko? No one want to fight Lomachenko, but Lomachenko went out there and made them fight. When fighters want to fight, they fight. It's not about. It is a bit about politics, where like you said, no one wants to fight, and it's because maybe there's not much money there or whatever. But when fighters want to fight, if they really want to fight, they make the fight. And Lomachenko is avoided in a way, but
no disrespect, but that's a bad comparison. Lomachenko had the politics on his side. That's why he's able to get the fights that he wanted.
How?
You said how?
What politics?
That's a great question. That's something you need to ask Bob Arum. I don't know
No,
how
but
a guy
you
got
said it, man. You're the one who said these are politics, so why don't you back it up with what you're saying? You just said
I don't
politics and just stood back.
when have you ever seen a guy get a title fight in their second fight?
Look, I'm not saying that, obviously politics is part of boxing. You understand me? So, like you're talking about not long ago about refereeing, that's politics. Judging is politics. Everything is politics in boxing. But at the end of the day, you have to take that out of their hands. You got to take it out of politics, like you're saying about eye test. So, he's so good because if you take politics out of it, that's going to do
Well,
politics, eye test. When
the
looking at the
thing
guy in the
is,
ring.
yeah, the thing is, Duran is led by his father and his two brothers who used to box. So some guys are just moved along slower than other guys,
So I'm
and
not saying, look, I'm not
it's
knocking
not
the guy,
because
but you're
it's
saying
not.
he's ready now. And he's
Yeah,
not,
he is
he got
ready.
30
Oh, he's
fights.
definitely ready now. Like
And
Duran
I'm
Ennis
sure
right now.
and
If
telling Crawford,
Crawford or Spence beat him, that would be their best win.
I think he doesn't want the fight right now because I don't think he'd want to get beat right now. What would
So
happen
why
to
is
his
he calling
career?
him out?
Because he's coming up. Every fighter does that. What do you think Keith Thurman is doing and all these guys are doing calling for Mayweather? What?
Conor Ben is not doing that.
Sorry?
Conor Ben is calling out Adrian Broner.
Yeah, but Conor Ben knows where his level is. He's not going to start calling out the pound for pound kings because he knows he doesn't belong there. You man are saying this guy belongs there. So he's shouting, saying, I want this guy. Doesn't mean you're going to get the fight. How long was there Spence shouting for Thurman?
Look,
He didn't get the fight.
I promise you,
So,
if Duran becomes the mandatory, he's not taking any step
listen,
aside money,
like you
none of
said,
that. He's
your
taking the fight immediately.
father and his brother have been protecting him. You know how I say that? By looking at his record, he's had 30 fights and no notable really wins. Yes, he might have skills. I'm not arguing that. But what I'm arguing is that you guys are saying on this panel that he's ready to beat Crawford and Errol Spence on his day right now.
But Ash,
So I don't agree with that.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Who weren't people saying the same thing about Crawford until he just fought Porter of late? And how many fights
Listen.
has Crawford
Let
had?
me. Yeah, people are, people that don't know much about boxing. Yes, they will say that because remember this. Yes, his opposition at 140 may not have been elite, but end of the day, he picked up all the belts. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? You're comparing a guy who's in a division, a packed out division, who's had 30 fights, right? And he's not for any notable guys that I can know of, unless you guys can say this guy's really good, right? He's been protected, and all of a sudden, all you guys are saying he's ready to beat Crawford, a guy who's been undisputed. He's a welterweight champion and undefeated. He's had about 7, 8 fights more than him, and people rip his record and his resume. And even argue sometimes say, no,
Okay,
he's weak. But look at the guy you're bigging up right now. He can't compare his record to even Crawford's. Forget Errol Spence's.
okay, but wait, but look at this. Let's be real. The main reason people consider Crawford pound for pound is not because of his resume. It's the eye test. Like he
Good
went
point.
undisputed.
No, but hold
He
on.
went.
You
Let me
upper
finish.
eye
Let
test.
me finish.
Go on.
He went undisputed at 140. He beat what's his name? Pothal. Who were the other two guys?
And Dongo
And Dongo.
and
Yeah, those guys.
Lundy.
Those guys are good fighters. They're not killers.
Yeah, I didn't
And
say
then
that.
and at 147, his best win is basically Earl Spence's leftover. But it's how he looked in those fights. Like you could tell Terrence Crawford is different from everybody else. That's the same thing you get from Boots at an even higher level.
But listen,
Like the
let
great,
me come
the
back to
elite,
something.
the special fighters,
He's had
they don't
30
just
fights.
beat their opponents; they destroy
Yeah,
them. That's what
yeah,
Boots
but
is doing.
listen. Crawford, yeah, by 30 fights was undisputed, and by 38 fights now, he's welterweight champion, and he's done a lot more in his fights. Your man has 30 fights and hasn't had a belt yet, and he hasn't
Can I
challenged
ask you
for
a
one.
question?
Yeah.
Can you give me an example of a guy who was hyped up and turned out to be a bust?
Well,
Verdejo.
I could even say to a certain extent Prince Nassim, because he could have done much more than what he did.
Yeah, well,
He didn't beat no
I
killer.
mean that guy,
When he
like
come
if
against
you,
the killer, he
he
lost
still
to
had a good
Barrera.
career.
Yeah, but if you want to compare to say like the way you're comparing ends to big pound for pound guys, I'm gonna give you a guy that I can kind of think of could have done better, and he kind of did it when he stepped up. He kind of lost to Barrera, but when he fought other guys, he looked much better. So
Mhm.
so that's one example I can give you at the top of my head. But the
One
point I'm trying to make
Logan.
is that this guy, yes, he could be good, but he needs to step up his competition. You can't just say right now, in my opinion, that he beats Crawford. But the way that kind
But
of confident you guys are.
brother, it's like this. It's like when you're talking to a girl. Like when you're talking to a girl, If she doesn't recuperate the affection back, it's not gonna work. He can't make these people fight him.
Yeah, but he's mandatory, isn't he? Like, but he's mandatory now, isn't he?
Yes, but Earl Spence can sidestep that if he fights Ugas or Crawford.
Listen, but listen, and people have been shouting for that for the last how many years? We don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to see my man right now against these guys. I'd rather see them guys right now. Who we want to see fight is Crawford versus Spence, and then if this guy's that good, he can fight the winner. If he's that good, he's still going to be mandatory, isn't he?
Yeah, that's
Because
it.
remember this, as you know, with the boxing rules, no one's sidestepping him. It's the rules. If you're going to unify or you're going to, be undisputed, that trumps anything. So it's not someone sidestepping him. He needs to keep doing what he's doing. And if it comes to the undisputed fight or the unified fight is not getting made, and still he's still being mandatory, like so say Dillian Whyte's been mandatory for so long and didn't get a fight. I mean, was mandatory for Floyd Mayweather for so many years, didn't get a fight. So if you're going to say Floyd Mayweather sidestepped Amir Khan then and avoided Amir Khan. When
Ash, is Crawford at the tail end of his career now?
Yeah, he is in a way, to be honest. Because he's got 37 or 36 or something around there.
I think he's 35.
35, but I think he'll have in my opinion, a couple of more years, maybe at the top level, because when you're putting your body through all these camps all the time, it's not easy, and obviously it comes a time and he does catch up on you. So
you better fight him now.
Because it might say
let me bring Campos in there. He made Campos got some great views. Campos, what do you think? What do you think about what we're talking about and this Canelo Benavidez situation about Canelo being called out for ducking Benavidez? What do you make of it?
Well, Canelo beat the guy Benavidez ducked, right? Canelo beat Plant, right?
Benavidez did not duck Plant. Stop it.
Yeah. You want me to send you the link?
No.
You want me to send you the link?
He's been asking for that fight forever.
No. You want me to send you the turn down the fight with Plant?
You can send the link if you want to, but the only reason that fight didn't happen is because Benavidez was on coke.
Oh, that's not why it didn't happen. They turned down the
That's exactly
fight.
why it happened.
Turned down the fight.
Those
are facts. No.
Plant.
They turned down the fight. Well, he didn't fight him.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Canelo fans will always try to downgrade a guy they see as a threat. Anybody who's a threat to Canelo, they say he's a bomb.
Campos isn't a Canelo
he has
fan.
fought nobody.
First of all, I support the sport, and there's video on Benavidez turning down the fight with Plant. I'm going to send you the link. What I hate are haters who make up lies and try to denigrate other boxers. I'm a Canelo fan, nor a Canelo hater.
You mean your favorite boxers? Denigrate your favorite boxers? That's what you mean?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I support the sport of boxing. No, the only one here saying lies is you, because they turned down the fight. And as soon as I'm done driving, I'm gonna send you the link where they turned down the fight. That's common knowledge now. The only people that don't know that hate on Canelo. I'm critical of Canelo for a lot of things that he's done. It's not just the good things, also the bad things. No fighter is above criticism. Not one in the whole sport.
Can I ask you a question? What reason does David Benavidez have for ducking Caleb Plant?
That's why I'm asking you what reason. Why didn't he fight Plant?
I don't know. That's why.
Why did he turn down the fight with Plant? I don't know. You have to ask Benavidez why he ducked Plant.
I don't think he did.
You don't think? I know he did. I know he did because he turned down the fight.
In this world,
yes, he did. I'm gonna hold on.
Why do you think he turned down the fight? Was there any reason?
I don't know. Yes, he turned down the fight.
You said you have the article, so instead of just
I'm gonna pull over right now.
Just explain it.
No, I'm gonna send you a video where you can hear it. So, Imran, how to link?
I'm sure you've watched the video.
I'll get done for what you do is after thing gets posted, post the link in the comments.
Yeah.
Post the link in the comments, and then we can all have a look at it, and we'll all comment on beneath it.
I'm sure you've probably seen the video already. Why can't you just explain it?
Yeah. So yeah, Campos, have you got the video? I mean, you must have seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened in the video?
I saw the video where they turned down the fight. Yeah, I saw the video where they turned down the fight with Plant. They wanted to marinate the fight. So I don't understand what this dude's saying. Benavidez turned down the fight with Plant.
Right.
So what's this dude, the other gentleman, he's trying to call me a Canelo fanboy just because I'm stating facts? How does that make sense?
Hey man, we're all entitled to our own facts.
No, you're entitled to your opinion. No, you're entitled to your opinion. All I mentioned were facts and didn't go to your liking. Why?
No,
you definitely don't like Canelo.
There's nothing wrong fits your narrative.
What facts are these?
I have a narrative if Benavidez turned down the fight with Plant. There's no narrative. That's just a fact. Now you took
Imran, didn't Canelo say that he wasn't going to fight any Mexicans in one of the interviews?
I don't know.
He did say that. Canelo did say that.
I'm sure he did. I'm a Canelo fan, but just to to put that in there. I'm sure I've seen an interview of him saying, I don't want to fight any Mexicans. I can't remember the base of the interview, but I remember someone saying that.
Probably did, but I think Canelo would fight. Mexicans. He fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
He wasn't a threat, though, was he?
Yeah, he'll fight bum-ass Mexicans. He's not gonna fight any good ones.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Where did Campos? What? You were cut off. Campos?
No, he's still there.
Where's Campos gone?
Has he gone? Okay.
He's going to find the link.
Hey Ash, okay. I'm look, Rare Breed always brings it to this podcast because he's
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm one of the few guys on this podcast who doesn't like Canelo. Everybody else to me seems they like the guy. So
what do you mean you don't like him? Why?
You said why?
We can hear you, Campos.
Because he's a cherry picker. He's a cheater.
Hold
There's
on.
a million reasons why I don't like Canelo.
Cherry picker? That's not good. Well, how is he cherry picker? Who isn't a cherry picker then? Which fighter? Name me a fighter that wasn't cherry picker.
Name me a fighter who's not a cherry picker? Easy. Yeah. Usyk.
Yeah, he's a cherry picker. He fought Bellew. Bellew came off the couch. Bellew came off the couch.
Yeah, listen, let me
Usyk literally went through the entire cruiserweight division, and then he went to heavyweight to fight a guy much bigger than him and who's a monster at heavyweight, Anthony Joshua. He is not a cherry picker.
I have to say, Usyk's not a cherry picker. Not in the
exactly. I can't even argue that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but listen, let me say one thing to that. Usyk ain't got the what do you call it?
There's the profile.
Not the profile. Even he ain't got that. He ain't allowed to have that. If you know what I mean. I can't find the word right now. You know, Canelo, he's the face of boxing. He can, way like Floyd Mayweather was.
Unfortunately, Usyk was born Ukrainian, so he doesn't have the advantages that Canelo has.
When you're the face of boxing, yeah, you can have some lesser fights just because you're greater than everyone else who's out there. Everyone is, like I said before, he's always the favorite. Is the reason why he's always the favorite, because he's better than everyone. He needs to fight someone like Usyk, like I explained earlier, like you guys saying that he's not a cherry picker. So if he fights someone like that and beats him, then we can say Canelo is great. But up until then, he's not great for me, but he's better than everyone else right now. There's no one that can come at his weight all around there and can beat him. No one. And if there is,
let me say this.
So forget about
cherry picking. Let
me finish. Every fighter in the history, right, who's been the time for fan king, yeah, has had lesser fights because you know why? Because they're better than anyone else. Even if the guy was good, look at Manny Pacquiao, he was great, but look what Mayweather did to him. Made him look like he was nothing. So it doesn't.
Pacquiao never ducked anybody.
Cherry pick then. You can call that a cherry pick then and say Mayweather cherry picked Pacquiao because it was that easy. No, you can't.
The difference is Manny Pacquiao fought the best.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The point is, the great fighters make the lesser fighter look lesser. So it doesn't matter.
What
do you mean?
No, he's not. He's not making them look lesser. Manny Pacquiao has dominated Hall of Famers. Canelo has never dominated anybody who's a great fighter.
Who can beat him then? You're saying, well, that who's beating? Well, give me a fighter that beats him then. Who can beat him?
I can name 5.
Who?
Andrade.
Who's fought nobody and been champion for like 10 years. Okay.
Benavidez,
yeah, that's an interesting fight, but we don't know about that. Okay.
Dimitri Beterbiev. I should not even his name. Arthur Beterbiev.
You know what though? I'll get from you. You're saying that these guys can beat, but if you knew a bit about boxing, you know that you wouldn't know until the end there that you can never say any fight really when it comes to this level like who's gonna win, because it's very hard to pick like that. So are you saying that Beterbiev after just like that is gonna be Canelo, and just like that does make
you I didn't say he would. I said he could.
You just said these guys would beat him. I can name you 5. So that does.
No, I said I can name you. I said I could name you 5 that could.
How could you say a guy like Beterbiev, yes, is a bigger guy, but what has he done that says he can beat Canelo? Yeah, he beat up a guy like Marcus Brown who's got no head movement.
Well, what did Cambosa show before he could beat Teofimo Lopez?
Well, no one knew about Cambosa, so I can't really say much about him.
We won't know until they get in the ring, right?
Yeah, but listen, you're talking about a guy we know about, and you're talking about Beterbiev. We know about him. He's not unknown. We've seen him fight. We know
what he's a good fighter.
Yeah, but he doesn't. Well, Canelo's a great fighter, though. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you. Compared to these guys,
he can fight Caleb Plant. He can fight Beterbiev.
If you can fight Caleb Plant, you can fight Beterbiev.
Yes. Yes. Or Yildirim, whatever his name is, that Turkish guy.
Oh, okay. So how long you watching boxing for?
He's a bum.
How long you watching boxing for?
Long enough.
Yeah, so long enough. So you've been watching boxing. All these fighters have gone. You picked Usyk. You picked Usyk, the guy who just come onto the map a few years back, and you just picked him. Shows how long you've been watching him. To say that the guy does not say anything. That shows.
Usyk hasn't done anybody.
Long enough. Let me 5 guys.
Little Penny come in.
Now hold on, let me just ask you one question, man. Let me 5 guys that have never cherry picked. You've named one Usyk, and I'll narrow it down for you. 3, go on, make it easy for you. Name me 3 guys that never cherry picked, because you said Canelo's a cherry picker. Name me 3 guys that didn't cherry pick.
De La Hoya.
Yeah, to be fair, De La Hoya, yeah.
De La Hoya, Usyk, Crawford.
Who's else? Okay, I'm gonna just finish with this and let Penny come in. And who's the best fighter in the last decade?
A fighter in the last decade?
Who's the best fighter in the last decade? Forget it. Just give me who's the best fighter in the last decade.
No, best fighter in the last decade is Floyd Mayweather.
Okay, say no more then. Okay.
Yeah, so Floyd Mayweather at times cherry picked as well. Rare breed. We've got to say it. There were times where he could have fought other guys, but he didn't fight. You know.
But all the guys that we wanted to fight, he did fight. The only guys he didn't fight that people wanted to fight were Margarito and Paul Williams. That's about it. And those guys,
and they wanted him to fight Amir Khan. Hold on, they wanted
Amir Khan. Easy work.
They wanted Mayweather to fight Amir. They wanted Mayweather to fight Winky Ray. They wanted Mayweather to fight. They wanted him to fight Forrest, who he never fought, and they wanted him to fight Sugar Shane Mosley at 135, which never happened.
Now that was Sugar Shane Mosley's fault.
Not at 135.
Yes, it was, because
not at 135 it wasn't.
That's Floyd at his best weight, and that's when people were ducking Floyd when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. Nobody wanted to fight Pretty Boy at that time.
If you say Floyd's best weight was 135, not only did he duck Mosley, but he has a loss at 135.
To who?
Just like Canelo has a loss at 160.
Who did Floyd lose to at 135?
Castillo.
Man, stop it.
Just like Canelo lost to Triple G in the first fight.
I'd agree with that. He definitely.
And Canelo gave Triple G a match. And Canelo gave Triple G a rematch. That doesn't mean that Canelo beat Triple G the first time because he didn't.
Big difference. Canelo wasn't called the winner in the first fight. So Floyd technically didn't have to give him a rematch.
So yeah, because Floyd robbed Castillo. The difference with Canelo, Triple G got a draw. The second fight, Canelo won barely.
Some people think Triple G won that fight.
Rare breed. Not much. He's not cherry pick anymore.
And a lot of people overly A lot of people overwhelmingly have Floyd losing to Castillo. It was even called Rob of the Century.
You should do a favor. Don't compare Floyd Mayweather and Canelo. It's different levels. Different levels.
In what
skills? I don't even care about resume. Pure skills. Canelo can't touch Floyd when it comes to skills. He knows it and you know it.
Yeah, that's true. But in terms of relevance, they're comparable.
Yeah, because relevance. Yeah, Canelo.
Well, let me ask you.
It beats him in that category too.
Let me. Okay, so what's Floyd's best win?
Some people.
What's Floyd Mayweather
Jr.'s
best win?
Some people will say Corrales. Some people will say Pacquiao. Some say Canelo. It depends.
I mean, he got a lot of good wins, man. Who? Somebody's all right, man.
He got a lot. Up. And Floyd Mayweather always gets people worked up. It is what it is.
Yeah, Red Breed.
Canelo always gets people worked up.
Red Breed, as you know, I'm a fan of Floyd's. I think his best win to me, because I was there at that fight, was the Canelo one. Because even though Floyd was the favorite to win that fight, I thought, and the people who were around me at the weigh-in, we all thought that Canelo was going to
give him a tough fight.
Use his size and strength to kind of like what Maidana did, right? To Floyd, but Canelo didn't do that, and part of it was the weight a little bit. I think it was weight drain, but the fact that Floyd neutralized Canelo, I thought that was his best win, to be honest.
You got to think about it. Canelo is not a volume puncher like Maidana. He's never been that. He's a counter puncher. So that kind of style works perfect for Floyd.
Yeah, Canelo was Canelo's style was tailor-made for Mayweather. Personally.
So that's why, exactly, Imran. That's why I don't understand people say, "Oh, if they fought in their primes, Canelo would destroy Mayweather."
Yeah,
no, he wouldn't.
Canelo in his prime, fighting at 168, it's hard. Like,
but Red Breed, if Canelo was say 28 and he was still like miraculously, say he was still at 154, I think he would have done better.
Yeah, he would have done better. He still would have lost. It would probably look like the Cotto fight.
First of all,
he would be competitive, but he would lose.
If that fight happened, there's a couple things that would change if that fight were to happen in their prime. Floyd can't A-side Canelo, and I don't really think Canelo's going to allow to be himself to be weight drained.
Wait a minute. How can he not A-side him when Floyd has done more pay-per-view numbers than Canelo ever has?
If they were both in their prime, I don't think side Canelo. And if he can't side Canelo, he's not going to pick the gloves. He's not going to be able to weight drain him. He's not going to be able to put a catch weight.
Do you have that same energy about the weight drain thing with Kovalev and Canelo?
Absolutely. It's unfair. I have it. I think it's unfair when Sugar Ray fought Dave Lalonde. I was against that.
All right. Just making sure we're keeping the same.
I'm always against drains. If you can't fight at the weight, move. Just like David Benavidez. Why is he hiding from 175? If he can't make weight, he should move up. But there's a reason he doesn't.
Boss, what's the reason?
There's some monsters at 175.
Weight plays a big difference.
Yeah. Who was that?
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Monsters at 175.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say Floyd is furthest from the best ever, and Canelo would beat Floyd in his prime. He would. Canelo now?
I don't think so.
He would. Oh, please. He would. Look at his against Plant.
He got destroyed by old Floyd. No way he's in his prime.
That was a little Floyd me Plant right there.
Man, come on, man.
Canelo, you see those hooks? He knows how to hit the shoulder roll now. Like I think it was Floyd Mayweather Sr. who was talking about it. He has it now. He'll beat Floyd now. That's what. Please.
So let me guess. So because he mastered Callum, who uses a shoulder roll, he can now beat the guy who mastered the shoulder roll, Floyd Mayweather. That's what you're saying?
Floyd fought a Canelo at 23. You know you're lying if you say that's the most best he's gonna be at 23. Nope. Stop
Let me
lying.
tell you something. If
20
Jerron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz is 23 right now. If a year from now Terrence Crawford beats him, Terrence Crawford deserves a lot of credit for that because Virgil Ortiz is a young, hungry lion. That would be a very tough fight for Terrence Crawford.
Well, what
That
did
would not
Terrence
be
Crawford
easy.
say to Virgil Ortiz?
Huh?
What did Terrence Crawford say about
Is
Virgil
he
Ortiz?
going to put Virgil Ortiz at a catch weight?
He says what every
Is
fighter
Crawford to
says.
put Ortiz at a catch weight?
Terrence Crawford
No,
said
of
Virgil
course
Ortiz
not.
needs to earn the fight.
There you go.
By the way, Canelo was like 15 pounds higher than Canelo on fight night.
Rev, I was there at the weigh-in, right? With Canelo and Mayweather, and I thought Canelo looked dry. Like he didn't look like a zombie like Brandon Rios looked to use, but he did look dry. Like because we were talking about it amongst ourselves, and we're thinking, man, Canelo's not even sweating. Like he looked like he's not himself. But we didn't think that Floyd was going to annihilate him in the fight the day after. But he did look a little dry. I think that weight at 152, I think that hurt him a little bit.
Canelo's not even the same when he fought Triple G. He's better now. He's way better now.
But the thing is though, the weight drain might make a difference. But the real issue in the fight wasn't because of size or anything. It was a skill gap. That was the issue. He's not as skilled as Floyd. So whether
at that time, but not anymore. I think Canelo will give him a lot of trouble now.
Also that wasn't Floyd in his prime. So maybe it would be even easier for a younger Floyd.
You can't really compare Floyd in his prime against Canelo in his prime because they're 4 or 5 weight classes apart. They're like so much apart. It's impossible.
So let me get this right. An older, small guy outclassed a young, talented prospect who's much bigger than him.
Rare breed.
When has that ever happened in history?
Floyd fought differently when he was older. Floyd
Mayweather was the number 1 pound for pound fighter at the time, so he was still.
And Canelo was number 9.
Yeah, but
I can't remember that.
But number 9 is not number 1 though. That's what I'm saying.
But let me ask you this: when's the last time Canelo fought a pound for pound fighter?
Triple G.
Exactly. That's a long time ago.
No, but you say the same thing about Floyd though.
No, Floyd fought like at least 12 or 13 pound for pound.
Were they pound for pound fighters when he fought them?
Yes.
Was Oscar De La Hoya a pound for pound king when he fought him?
There's no
Ricky Hatton was.
Fight.
Oh, but come on,
he was not.
Ricky Hatton rating was very you think Ricky Hatton was a great fighter?
No, he wasn't. But he was on the pound for pound list. So that's what we're talking about.
Many people have been on the pound for pound list. There's many guys that have been on the pound for pound list.
When he fought Cotto, he was on the pound for pound list.
Was he top 10? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think so, dude.
Was he top 10
at that point? Pacquiao was. Pacquiao was number 3, I think. When
Pacquiao was. Yeah, I'll give Pacquiao. But Pacquiao that wasn't the best Pacquiao either.
Yeah, Floyd should have fought Pacquiao in 2011 or 2010 even, because Manny already agreed to all of his demands, including the drug testing by 2011.
It's not Floyd's. I understand. It's not Floyd's fault that Manny Pacquiao wasn't as how you said the word, like, long lasting.
Longevity.
He didn't have. It's not Floyd's fault that Pacquiao didn't have his longevity.
No, Redbury. What I'm saying, in 2011, Pacquiao already told HBO that. No. In 2010, I think Pacquiao was like, I don't want random drug testing, especially at the day before the fight, because it would like take away his strength. And then in 2011. Because a lot of people wanted to see that fight, and with Pacquiao's mentality, okay, I'll do it, even though it will hurt me. By 2011, so he accepted that. But Mayweather changed the contract.
Let's be real.
He wanted 40 million. He wanted to give Pacquiao 40 million flat fee rather than a 50-50 split. That's when Pacquiao finally said, "No, you can't do that, dude. Like that's highly unfair."
But let's be real. it's not normal for a guy like Pacquiao who started at 112 or whatever to go all the way up to 140 and knock people out. Like, I can understand why Floyd might have some reservations. Go ahead.
Dude, it's because the reason why Pacquiao started at 112 is because he was a very poor, like, you know, in America when you say like there's what do you call them, like projects and stuff like that, and people give them food stamps. That's poor, right?
Yeah.
In Philippines, there is no food stamps. There is no projects. That's where Pacquiao came from. So when he started at 112, he was what's the word where he's like he's not eating well?
Malnourished.
Undernourished.
Yeah, that's the word. That's why.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, but there is quotes by Pacquiao were saying that he didn't want to use needles or whatever, or that's why he didn't want to take the test.
Yeah, but by 2011, Red Breed, I think he accepted all of that. You know what I mean? And
he did.
And also, yeah.
And in terms of marination, which people talk about all the time, they kind of did that, didn't they? Like, isn't that the highest grossing fight of all time?
Yes, by far.
I mean, people say that Pacquiao was no longer in his prime, but just recently Pacquiao beat welterweight young champion in Thurman. So it's proof that Pacquiao was still capable even back then.
You know, Red Breed, I don't think that was in Pacquiao's prime at all in 2015. His prime was in 2009, 2011. But Red Breed,
but the thing is, be fair, be honest, be unbiased. That's not the Floyd's prime either.
But Red Breed, I'm going to give you a benefit here. I think had Manny fought Floyd in 2011, I think Floyd would have beaten him.
Yeah, it'd been a better fight. I agree with that. I want to see Pretty Boy Floyd versus Manny Pacquiao at his peak. That would be a great fight.
But Red Breed, the thing is that I'm a bit skeptical of Floyd's careers because he didn't take those risks. You know what I mean? He didn't take.
But it's because at his peak, well, for one, at his peak, Floyd was at a different weight class than Manny. Way different, like.
No, I think they were both at welterweight at that time. But Reba, what I'm saying is he didn't take what CV was saying. He didn't take those fights with Winky Wright and Paul Williams and Margarito and Cotto in his prime, and like Koshizu at 140. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that was in his DNA. Even though he eventually fought those guys, but it's also when you fought them. I think like sometimes that's. I like Floyd. I'm a fan of his, but sometimes I feel like the when portion of his resume sticks out a lot. You know what I mean? Whereas really like Canelo and Pacquiao, they don't really have that. You know what I mean? Where because they're fighting guys in their primes. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. Let's get Campos in and Steven in. Campos, what do you make of what's being said?
No boxer is above criticism. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, can hear you. Yeah.
No boxer is above criticism. And there's criticism. There's criticisms against past fighters. The issue is that when criticisms go against their favorite fighter, they get up and they denigrate other fighters.
Yeah, true.
And Floyd lost to Luis Castillo.
And you can't.
They robbed him.
And
yeah.
Pernell Whitaker.
What happened? You cut off.
And Chavez robbed Pernell Whitaker.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Floyd.
So what we talking about again? We still talk about the same stuff.
It's getting heated, Stephen. It was getting heated earlier. You know what I mean?
I came in and I heard all the commotion, and I was like, dang, it's getting real. So basically, so if I just catch up to speed, here's the thing, man. So y'all talking about what Canelo's doing, what he's not doing, Floyd, what he did, what he didn't do. To me, and I've said this before,
They two of the same fighters, man. They two of the same. They two of the same. So when you see, you could actually see with your own two eyes. You see this with your own two eyes. The maneuvering, the up and down, the picking, and you still don't tell the truth. You still can't say what you really see in them. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Just like Floyd would pick his fights and everything, Canelo does the same thing. It's time to move on from that. It's time to move. There's no sense in the world to keep talking about the same thing over and over. When you see it, you see it. You can actually see it. This is not something that we speculating on. We see this. We see what Floyd Mayweather did. And you know what? Before everybody's, I'm a Canelo hater and stuff. Listen, the Floyd Mayweather fans, they just as bad. They make the same type of accommodations for Floyd too. Floyd invented it, but to say that you don't see it when you got guys, regardless of what you think about Wavy Davy and all these other fighters, these fighters at 168, regardless of what you say, he still at least defend his title, and then you can go to 175 and fight Dimitri and all them. But you don't have to go to cruiserweight. Hold on, wait, hold on, man. Wait, hold on, dude. Wait. Just let me talk, man. Hold on. Just let me talk.
There's nobody.
You finish.
Let Steven finish.
You finish. You falling into it, man. You fall, and I'm trying to grab you. I'm trying to hold you up, man. But you slipping away from me. You slipping. There's no reason to go to cruiserweight and fight a no good, dirty, washed up bum like Makabu. No disrespect to Makabu, I take that back. I don't want to call him that. But to fight a nobody, if you're gonna go to cruiserweight, challenge the best at cruiserweight.
There's no reason for Terrence Crawford to fight Ugas, but that's what he's doing. There's no reason.
I'm turning the camera off. I'm turning it off. I'm turning it off.
There's no reason for Terrence Crawford to fight this guy, but nobody's complaining. There's no reason for Errol Spence.
I can't even show my face.
Right? No, Spike. What's Terrence Crawford's not fighting Ugas? Let Steven make his point, then you can come in. Don't worry. Let Steven go on, Steven.
I'm not.
No, man. I mean,
whatsoever.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing over again and again. Let's call it what it is. Let's just say this. You have people, certain sectors of people that fancy a fighter for various reasons. But like somebody else was saying, when you critique and when you bring question into the equation as to why certain moves, I'm just saying, you know, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? Why is he moving up and he's not fighting the fighters that you would think that he would fight? There's a reason for that, man. There's a reason for it, dude.
3 world champions in 1 year.
He doesn't want to lose.
Terrence
he
Crawford
doesn't want. And I don't want to lose
in 5 years.
I don't know.
It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. It gets to the point where it's sad.
It's because Canelo's a Mexican. That's why, and he's #1 pound for pound.
Because you
and millions don't like that. Millions. You're not the only one, Steven. You're not the only one. It's not exclusive to you. I promise.
Listen. You can say what you want to about me. You can say what you want to about me, but that's not the reason. That's the reason for you. That's the reason for you. And you know what? And you know what? You're not being true to yourself. You're talking about something that's obvious.
I saw it in the plan fight. Canelo is a elite fighter. I promise you.
I never said he wasn't.
I'm not a fan.
I never said he wasn't, dude. I never said he wasn't.
Come on now.
You don't want to, bro.
Hey, guys.
Go ahead.
Campos, go on.
Hey, okay, so the criticism right now is because Canelo's going to cruiserweight to fight Makabu, who's rated #2, #3 at cruiserweight, depending on what rankings you go. Okay, one of my fighters, one of my guys on my Mount Rushmore is Roy Jones Jr. He went to heavyweight and fought the weakest heavyweight in John Ruiz and got accolades for it. Another fighter that that's on my Mount Rushmore is Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard fought Dave Lalonde, who was a light heavyweight out of a catch weight that was near super middleweight, and he got credit for it. Now, if Canelo's going to fight Makabu, it's to get that title in the 5th division. That's why he's doing it. If people don't like it, who should he fight?
Hey, well, we've been telling you who should fight over and over again, but that don't matter. And
no, who should he fight? I'm asking you. Steve, who should he fight?
I've been saying it. I ain't gonna say it no more. We know who should fight.
Charlo, Demetrius Andrade,
all those things. All the same things we've been saying.
Right, I agree too. I want to see. I feel like there'll be mega fights. Benavidez, all of them. Hell yeah, why not? I'm not no fan.
But I'm saying, man, don't.
Canelo gets undeserved hate because he's number one, just like Floyd. You're right, just like Floyd. When Floyd was number one, everybody, do this, do that. But all the other fighters, what are they doing? Put some light on them.
But yeah, man, put some light on them. But don't go. Don't go fight Makabu. Makabu's trash, dude. I'm gonna just say it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go.
Makabu's not trash. Makabu's not trash. Canelo, I don't think Canelo should fight 160 and bring him up in weight. If Canelo's gonna fight anyone, they either be at 168 or above.
But CV,
if Andrade wants to fight,
CV, I do agree that Makabu is not trash. But let's be honest, no one really knew him until that WBC convention, right?
Most people didn't know who he was at the WBC convention. Yes.
Yeah.
Most people. I follow cruiserweight because of Usyk.
Yep.
To be honest,
so again,
I'm not totally against him fighting Makabu. I think Makabu's dangerous.
I've
seen Makabu
doing
fight.
it to get
and then what if he loses against Makabu? People never give him credit.
What was that, CV?
No, he's just like it's been stated before. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, no, he's just going up there to get a title in the 5th division. Just like, you can hear me?
Yeah. Keep going.
Hi.
He's going to get a title in the 5th division, just like Roy fought John Ruiz at heavyweight, just like Sugar Ray Leonard fought Dave Lalonde at a catch weight at around super middle. That's why he's doing it. To beat for the decoration. Is it the fight that most people want to see? You guys are saying no, or it's being said no, but for some reason, tens of thousands of people turn out to see him fight live, and his pay-per-views are doing.
Congrats. Canelo has a lot of fans. Whoop-de-doo.
and listen, man, don't nobody care about when Roy went up there and fought the weakest heavyweight. That's not the first thing you think of when you think about Roy. That's not the first thing you think of. You think about Roy outside, but that's probably the last thing you think about. You might bring that up as an honorable mention of his, but that ain't the first thing you think about when you think about Roy. That was weak. That was weak. And you know what? I'm gonna say this, and you can take it how you want to. I don't think Roy was even trying to make a weak move. I don't think he was doing. I think it was just something he did. But Roy he wasn't doing that when he did that, and that's what listen, man. Don't misconstrue it. Canelo is a gangster, man. Canelo is a killer. Listen. You got one. You got one solid. As a matter of fact, back in the day, man, I was one of the only dudes. Praising Canelo back in the day. I was hype on him back in the day, and I still am. I ain't gonna shortchange nobody, dude. I'm just saying that when you have where there's smoke, there's some fire, and it's obvious. And who in their right mind want to lose? Nobody wants to lose.
Hey,
you know,
Steven, when Roy Jones beat Ruiz at heavyweight, how come he didn't fight Mike Tyson straight afterwards? Because that fight was on the table and it was for millions and millions of dollars, but he turned that down. I was wondering why he did that.
You know why? You know why he did it, Little Penny? You know why? Because he knew he would lose. And why send yourself into the danger zone? Y'all remember?
But Steven, Mike Tyson was washed up by that time.
Yeah, but it was still, he still didn't want that. He still didn't want that. He didn't want to go into the danger zone. Y'all remember Kenny Lofton made that song, The Danger Zone? I went to the danger zone. Yeah, man, that was a jam, dude.
Guys, let's bring 1 minute. Let look what Mike T has to say. Mike T, appreciate your. So he basically says Benavidez, Charlo, Andrade will never step in the ring with Makabu. So it tells you what, Steven.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Says Benavidez, Charlo, Andrade will never step in the ring with Makabu.
No, they probably wouldn't, man. Probably wouldn't, because it's not their weight class. They they probably wouldn't. I don't think they even think they capable of doing something like that. But Canelo and Eddie Reynoso and there, they know what they know what they got, and they do a lot of good scouting. So they know what to take and what not to take. Because here's the thing.
But Steven, don't you think that's dangerous?
Makabu?
Yeah.
I think he'll get Makabu out of there, man. I think so.
No, he would. But Canelo gets everyone out of there, though. Like, if we look at recently, Canelo's got everyone out of there. He got Billy Joe out of there. He got Caleb out of there. Yeah,
he did. And you know what, man? You know what? Caleb was a good fight for him, and that was a good fight. And I don't think I think he did. He got Caleb out of there, but I don't think he gonna do I don't think he gonna do David Benavidez like that. What you think, Will Penny?
What was the question?
Would he get David Benavidez out of there? Canelo, would he knock Benavidez out? I think he would. I think he would. I think Benavidez is too defensively weak. He hasn't got a defense, man. He comes forward and he doesn't have no defense.
I agree.
As soon as Canelo hits him a couple of times, I think he'll knock him out.
That'll be a good fight.
Yeah, they need to make the fight, man.
I think. Yeah, for me, that's a highly dangerous fight for Canelo. Even though his defense is not that good, he's got fast hands and he's so big. I think he's bigger than Canelo. I like that fight, that Canelo.
But he's got no power, Little Penny. He's got no power. That guy that he fought last was hitting him with a kitchen sink and he couldn't move him. Let's be honest, Steven. He hasn't got
Tyrone Davis.
He hasn't got Benavidez couldn't move him. He went in 9 rounds taking his punches. So imagine Canelo now.
Kyron had a little chin on him. He had a chin.
But Canelo has a chin on him as well, Steven. Canelo's got a great chin. You know that.
Yeah.
And
so why not make the fight, man?
Well. Come on. He's not a punch bag.
So can we see that fight? Come on, can we see it, Imran?
I want to see.
Let's see the fight, man.
With somebody. I don't care whether it's Canelo. I want to see him against somebody. Forget about Canelo. I want to see him in there in his next fight. It needs to be someone good.
Okay.
Someone that we know about. Plant, Canelo, anybody. Someone good.
But Steven, with Canelo, where he's been highly criticized for going to cruiserweight and fighting the weakest guy at cruiserweight. As I was saying before, Steven, you know what? I'm going to give him a pass on that one because Canelo's been cleaning out all of these divisions. I know you will disagree with me with this because you have to fight the fights, but sometimes some of these great fighters, sometimes they'll take a fight where it's not a super fight. You know what I mean? I think Canelo. Don't you think Canelo deserves that? Because he's been cleaning out all of these divisions.
You know what, little Penny, you my man's, and if there's anybody else telling me not to give him a pass, to give him a pass,
I may be a little reluctant, but since it's coming from you, you my man's man, and you know your stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead. I give him a pass. But no, seriously, I don't think, man. But I was just gonna say real quick. Seriously, I just think that okay, I don't want to see it happen. Okay, and I tried to make a deal with y'all last time, and y'all say y'all want to make a deal. So I make this deal. All right, he fights Makabu. We already know he's gonna win. Let's go through the formalities of that. What can we agree? Can everybody agree? Me and the chat, me and everybody on here, can we agree that what happens? What needs to happen next is he needs to go and he needs to face Better Beef or Bivol or somebody substantial. So he could just clear the air. Just like okay, I'll do it for y'all.
Why, Steven? Why when Deontay Wilder didn't fight Anthony Joshua, he turned down $100 million? And to you, Deontay Wilder
was the fastest. Deontay,
yeah, but I'm giving.
We ain't talking. It's not a valid point because we're not talking about him.
No, you said Tyson
we've been talking for. I'm looking
right?
at. But hold on, man. I'm looking at the time. It's 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 37 seconds. Now 39 seconds. And we've been talking about Canelo for the last. So I don't want to shift gears here and go to Deontay Wilder, who
I'm still talking about Canelo. I'm talking how you put Tyson Fury above Canelo for whatever reason. What did Tyson Fury do? He beat Wilder. Wilder is a puncher, not a boxer.
Hey man, listen. The boy Fury, he gave everybody what they wanted.
How? He beat 3 times. He fought.
But that's what everybody was asking for.
Anthony Joshua ducked Dillian Whyte.
Oh, brother. He gave everybody what they was asking for. He listened to the fans. He said, "What y'all want to do it again?
To you guys,
run it back. Y'all want to run it back." He did that.
Is black. So,
but it's got nothing.
Why you always come with that? Why you always come with that? Why you always do that, man? You ain't got to always do that, man. Hey, why you just got to bring the blackness in it? Just leave that out. Leave it out, dude.
So Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder didn't make all the excuses in the world and still get $10 million after, because that's how white people are, right? It's little, no, look at me, you're black, and gave him $10 million, right? But Canelo can't get credit because he's Mexican. He's a number
to do with that, dude.
Pound, and I guess Canelo has to prove himself.
Get out of here, man. You listen, man. Listen.
No. This is the truth.
Listen, dude. Listen.
Canelo will never get credit because he's number one. You want Boo Boo to be number 1 pound for pound. That's not gonna happen. Canelo's Mexican.
Spike, where are we?
Who? I want Boo Boo to be pound for. Man, you talking crazy, dude.
He's not gonna be. You know why?
What you over there smoking, dude?
You know why? He's not gonna be number 1.
What you over there smoking, dude? You talking crazy?
No,
look, leave the race and all that stuff out.
Canelo.
We talking about
guys. Listen, let's keep it boxing. We're not.
This is boxing. This is boxing.
No, you ain't keeping it boxing.
No, but you just brought in Wilder's black. That's why.
You went LDBC on us.
So there's not all these other people that make these YouTube videos making up all these excuses. And that's okay.
Who's doing that?
Feel sorry, not me. I'm telling you what it is. Canelo's number 1. He's Mexican. These people don't want to give him credit, but if he was black, there'd be statues already of him. Cut it out.
Yeah,
give
but
him
the thing is
I don't hate you, Steven. I don't hate you, dog. I'm telling you how it goes.
Yeah, you do. You ain't got no love for me, man. If you had love for me, you wouldn't do me like that, man. You wouldn't do me like that.
Hold on, guys.
Hey, I'm telling you, truth is hate.
1 minute. Spike. You're getting a bit. I don't know what. I think you're getting a little bit too emotional. Let CB speak and calm down, and then come and have what you say.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, look.
Yeah, go on, CB.
So, some of the panel, there's a couple of people panel that aren't happy or don't like that Canelo is fighting a champion at cruiserweight. To me, as long as Canelo is fighting champions, whether it's at 175 or cruiserweight, I'm going to be okay with that because he's fighting champions. Now, when I first joined the chat, it was about Benavidez. It was about ducking Benavidez. Okay? And the thing was, Canelo beat the champion Benavidez. Okay? Good fight. I would prefer to see Canelo Benavidez at 175, not at 168.
You do know why David Benavidez didn't fight Plant, though. He said it wasn't a good time. They wanted to promote it more. But now he probably regrets it because, he fought Canelo. Probably regrets it, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
I don't think he was.
Man, that's
how it goes.
Hurt, man. my feelings kind of hurt, man. I thought you loved me, dude. I thought you had love for me, man.
I mean, if you want to,
you ain't got no love for the kid.
I mean, if your feelings are hurt, talk to a
therapist.
Guys, I don't mean to hurt your feelings. I was just speaking the truth. Only in the USA.
Yeah, but that didn't.
Listen, bro. Only in the USA could a black man accuse another person of cheating, or fire his coach, he spiked my water, and then get $10 million after. Come here, black man. Oh, come here. Oh, you come here. That's how it is. Just like Black Lives Matter raised all these billions of dollars and rolled off into the sunset. What did they do with that?
Bro, you're getting political now. Bro, you're getting political.
Yeah, you're getting
Imran. So Teddy Atlas.
You're getting political, bro. Cut that out.
Yeah, Imran, you need to stop that, man. You need to stop that.
I'll stop. But Teddy Atlas doesn't hate Canelo, but praise Jake Paul. You know there's an agenda being pushed.
Yeah, but Teddy Atlas is a white man. What's that got to do? Like, why would he want to hate on Canelo? Like, he probably doesn't like Canelo, but there's many people that don't like Canelo.
That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point.
Hear me out, Spike. It's not race orientated. It's just what it is. Unfortunately, that's life. That's life. Amir Khan here in the UK gets a lot of hate from people in the UK. That's just life. That's just the way it is. That's life. That's
it's definitely race oriented.
But we all look how far. Look,
it's number one, and he's Mexican. And guess who are the majority in the country?
Spike, relax.
Mexicans.
Spike, relax. Look, Teddy Atlas
on the news. They're not going to report it on the news because they big up themselves. But the majority in the country are mixed natives. The people who were been here because his land is stolen. Remember, that's why Canelo's because he's marketable.
Let CV speak. Let's see.
This is all truth. Speak. Go ahead.
go on, CV.
Yeah, look. Yeah, this got crazy. This got out of hand. Look. You know what? Someone else go on. I can't even speak right now.
Go on, Steven.
Yeah,
you next.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to go after that, man. My man, he stole the show, man, from us right up on our nose. But man, if we could, man, just keep it.
Boxing,
see, and that's what I always be trying to preach, man. I always try to preach, man. The moment you come into it with biases, like say for instance, Manny Pacquiao. Everybody knows he's probably my favorite boxer, but I have to look at things fairly when I analyze his career. You know what I'm saying? When I look at the moves and everything, when I look at everything he does, I want to hold him. You know what? It's the reason why at your job they tell you don't talk politics and don't talk religion. Because the moment
people live in a false reality.
Well, hold on, wait, hold on, man, wait.
That's why in this world you got to be phony. You got to go to get it.
Man, you gonna let me talk, dude?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's calm down, man. Calm and relax.
The reason why they tell you that is because because people are so passionate about those two subjects that the possibility for a calamitous or disastrous situation may occur because you got feelings into it now. So you could, man, try not to bring race into it, man. Try not to bring, just cast out and just picture Canelo or picture Floyd or whoever as a boxer.
So the build that wall code doesn't exist from black people and white people.
No, but you're bringing no.
What you talking about, man? Get him out of here, man. Who's this dude?
I'm crazy. I'm imagining it.
Listen to me a sec. You know how crazy you're sounding right now, right? You just criticized Steven, right? What's the color of Steven's skin? Tell me.
No,
right?
Imran.
No, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Just listen to me. What is this color of Steven's skin? Just answer the question.
The black, the same race.
Okay. Who did he say was #1 pound for pound fighter in the world?
Manny Pacquiao, right?
No, he didn't. He said Tyson Fury, right?
Oh,
and you were upset about that.
So
okay?
what? So what?
So what is the color of Tyson Fury's skin?
So what? White and
so
black.
So what
people...
I'm trying to say, why are you upset that because he's not saying Canelo? I don't understand. What's that got to do with it?
So if a white man bows down to a black dude and kisses his feet, that doesn't mean they don't hate Chinese people? Because Chinese people are the wealthiest?
Oh, bro, you're
it's
going
all my
imagination.
This world is black and white, like the Freemasons. Like the Freemasons, black and white. Not in reality, my brother.
We need to cut it off. We need to cut off this race.
Oh, you're out. Hey, Imran.
I forgot, bro. The truth.
Now I'm gonna get back to what I wanted to say.
My bad.
Go on, CV.
Yeah, so the whole issue with the Atlas, the reason Teddy Atlas is unhappy with Canelo, what fighter did Benavidez beat that Teddy Atlas was training? Gvozdyk.
Gvozdyk, yeah.
Yeah, so what would happen if Canelo was to fight Benavidez, and what would happen if Canelo was to beat him? How would that make Tony Atlas look? First of all, Gvozdyk, he was my favorite at 175. Years ago, I incorrectly predicted that he would be king 175. But that's where the hate comes from Atlas, because Benavidez already beat at his best fighter.
Look, Imran, somebody said, wow, glad I caught this live stream. Don't be scared, Imran. People like the truth. Don't worry, but go ahead, keep going.
I don't know what Spike. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know why you forget talking about that. We just keep it boxing.
Facts. All I'm saying is Canelo gets a little extra hate than these other dudes, and I know why. That's all I'm saying, though.
No, if you feel that way, the thing is, I don't hate on Canelo, and you know that.
No, right? I'm not saying you, Imran. I know. I'm not saying you.
If Canelo,
no, but listen to what I'm saying. But like, if you were on a channel that you know the guy that makes the videos hates on Canelo, I can understand you being passionate about it. But you know that I'm not like that. So there's no need to come. Like I know some of the channels that you think speak like that. But I don't speak like that, so we don't need to raise that issue, you know?
Let me make it very clear. Everything that I'm saying right now are not Imran's views. I'm not saying that Imran thinks this way. I'm just speaking in general. Like, you know, he seems to get a lot of criticism, and I'm not saying you, Imran. You know what I'm saying? Just in general.
I get where you.
I mean, you got control, dude.
But you don't. But here's the thing: a lot of fighters get that sort of criticism. It's not just Canelo. Floyd used to get it.
Yeah,
as well.
Floyd
used to get it.
Still gets it.
Everyone gets it, bro. Everyone gets it. It's not just Canelo.
I'm telling you,
it's because you look at it from Canelo's perspective. It's because Canelo means a lot to you.
No, he does. Canelo ain't gonna do. Canelo ain't gonna do nothing for me.
To them.
No.
That's why all they view is Floyd. All you viewed is Canelo. So for you, it's a big issue. For me, if someone said something about Khan, it's a big issue because I like him and I look at him in a way
Lopez.
where he's like a hero.
Look at Teofimo Lopez.
When people say something negative about him, it hurts.
Look at Teofimo Lopez.
But that's just natural. That's natural.
Imran, when Teo beat Lopez, Loma stayed on a pound for pound, right? Cambosos beats Lopez, they take Teo off, and Loma's still on there. Please don't tell me that there's no biases, Imran. I love and all that.
Hey, well, you know what, man? If that was the case, why you gotta follow the trend, and why you gotta bring it to this platform? I think everybody do a good job at talking without interjecting that stuff, and you come with this old funny bunny business. I don't know what I don't know what you're talking about and all that stuff. But man, listen, just try to keep your.
Have you seen the channel Dante's Boxing Nation? The stuff that little fat ugly.
But again,
says?
we're not talking. Again, we're going off topic because
so
there's people gonna, like I just said to you. We're not pushing agenda here, man. We're not pushing agenda. We're talking boxing. Let's keep it to boxing, man. Let's keep it. No one here is against Canelo. No one here. If there was someone here that hates Canelo, Steven doesn't hate Canelo. He's praised Canelo many times. The fact that he thinks that Tyson Fury is number one, that's his opinion. That don't make him right. That's just Steven's own opinion. Pound for pound is subjective. Everyone's entitled to an opinion.
Just think about Tyson Fury.
I'm just gonna say, sorry to cut off anyone.
Go on.
I'm just gonna say one thing. Canelo gets a lot of hate from Mexicans too. And
yeah, because haters, Mexicans could be haters too. It's not only I'm not no fanboy. I know how it goes.
Yeah, and to go on the Loma point, Loma was still on the pound for pound list because he had a better resume than Teofimo, because Teofimo had only beaten Comey and Loma as the top guys, right? So when and Loma will always, unless like Loma had a better resume, that's why he was on the pound for pound list. But racism does exist in every we're all minorities. Most of us are minorities here. Steven's a minority. Imran's a minority.
Let me come in. Let's stop talking about like racism now, man. Let's talk boxing. Let's keep it boxing. I'm tired of talking about that. Let's keep it boxing.
I'm just saying,
keep it boxing.
We're all like, no one hates on this channel. No one hates on some because of like their race or like where they're from.
Let's keep it boxing, man. I don't know. This just took a different direction. Steven, come back to boxing. What were you saying about Benavidez?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think that David Benavidez, I think he's probably, he's one of my favorite fighters. But I think at 168, I don't see nobody, beating him. I really don't. I don't see Canelo doing it. I just, from what I see from David Benavidez, I think he's going to overwhelm Canelo. I don't think there's anybody at 168 that can, possibly overthrow him except for Morrell Jr. You know what I'm saying? I think Morrell Jr. might have a knockout punch, but I think he smokes Canelo. I think he smokes everybody at 168. David Benavidez is the real deal, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
But Steven, would you say like the occasion will get to him? Like 75,000 in the stands or something, like, the biggest fight of his life, the brightest lights ever. Do you think he's used to that? The aura.
Well, I mean, I think he's gotten to a place where he was almost there and he missed it by his own doing. So I think he's adjusted to that. I think he knows how to seize the moment. So I think I don't think that's going to be a fact. I think he can go in there and do what he needs to do.
Yeah. Cool.
I just want to put it out there that if the Canelo and Benavidez fight happens, I'm willing to bet $3,000 to $8,000 on Canelo to beat him. If anyone wants to take that, and I will travel.
Oh hell no, man!
Yeah, I do. I travel. If you look on the forums and on YouTube, I travel. If you're in the West Coast, I'll travel for $3,000. If you're on the East Coast, I'll travel for $8,000. I'll come to you, and winner gets paid in cash.
Hey, CV, just use PayPal. Just use PayPal, dude, so they don't have to travel.
You can e-transfer.
What was that?
CV, just use PayPal, so you don't have to travel.
No, because people don't pay you. People won't pay you. I'll be humble, and I will travel. If you're on the West Coast, if you're on the west side of Mississippi, and we bet $3,000, I'll travel. We can watch the fight together, and the winner collects in cash. If you're on the other side of the Mississippi, and we bet $8,000, then I will travel. Winner collects in cash. I've done it before. If you can go through YouTube.
So you for real that confident in that fight?
Well, the thing is that I haven't seen anything from David Benavidez. Hasn't fought anybody. Darrell doesn't count. That's not a good win.
And
Nah,
that was a
nah,
close
nah.
fight. That Darrell
David
fight was
Benavidez-
pretty close.
David Benavidez is the champion. David Benavidez is a champion. You can't say he's never fought anybody. Nah.
Well, he's not a champion
Okay.
right now, is he?
How did he get the belt
No, I'm saying he was.
originally?
He was the champion.
How did he get the belt originally?
Was it vacated?
No, how did David Benavidez win a belt originally?
I'm not sure.
It was vacant. It was vacant, and he fought Ronald Gavril, which most people say was either a draw or Gavril won that fight. Gavril's the guy that put Benavidez on his ass.
He was off balance.
That was the first fight.
Relax. He was off balance.
Oh my gosh.
Don't
Okay.
say Benavidez like he's a chump. That's what I'm saying.
Darrell had a draw with Yildirim. And then everyone hates on Canelo for it.
Exactly. So for me, I haven't seen a good win from Benavidez. Gavril doesn't count.
But I
That was
still wanna
vacant.
See that fight. I still want to see Benavidez fight.
Oh,
Canelo.
exactly. I want to see that fight because I want to bet on Canelo.
I want to see
Yo,
Charlo.
have
I
a
want to
question
see
for
all them
everyone.
fights.
Who would you rather see Canelo fight? Beterbiev or Benavidez? I'd say Beterbiev.
Yep, I would agree. Beterbiev.
Beterbiev's a better fighter, man. He's Beterbiev's a more dangerous fighter. He's a much better fighter.
And also, I want to say something about before you guys were talking about Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas is just to react. Like all he does is like talk like he's in a theater, and he's so biased to certain fighters. Like he'll never give them credit. And Canelo,
I agree. EK.
All he does is like talk like, "Oh, you're a fireman. We'll go into the fire." And then and then he'll never criticize his fighters, and then he'll criticize like certain fighters.
EK, I agree.
EK,
I agree with you. Teddy Atlas is biased. He was accusing Manny Pacquiao of drugs for so long.
He's not alone in that. But I'm not talking. Yeah, there's just certain people like he'll never give credit no matter what they do, and I just don't like that. It's just
true. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Guys, just going off a topic a sec. What do you guys make of this Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte situations? Stephen, I'll come to you first. What's going on there, man? Dillian Whyte's not getting a shot. Apparently, he was offered $5 million, and Dillian Whyte wants $10 million. Well, he was offered $5 million plus pay-per-view split of 25%, but Dillian wants $10 million. What do you make of it?
I think, man, that's whack, man. I think Dillian just making he trying to get out the fight, man. He don't want to see them hands.
Yeah, has he ever made 10 million or 8 or 5 million before?
Yeah, just take the 5 million, man. Take the 5 million and make everybody happy. That's still a lot of money. Why don't you want to take the 5 million?
He's acting like he's fighting Canelo because when Plant wanted 10 million, that makes sense because you're fighting Canelo's like the cash cow. Is Tyson Fury like that big of a draw like around the world that he can give 10 million to his opponents? I don't think so.
I mean, they both.
How much did Dillian Whyte get for the AJ fight?
But AJ wasn't as famous back then, so maybe not. That doesn't count. I don't think. AJ back then was only a name in like England, right, Imran?
Yeah.
Back then, yeah. So maybe
AJ has always been big over here.
You think
AJ's a lot of money, man?
Do you think AJ's big in America, Stephen?
No, right now, but not back then. Like, what year did they fight in, Imran? Like 2000.
Who? AJ and who?
Dillian.
Ages ago. That was like 2015, I think. 2000.
Yeah.
What was his purse? What was Dillian Whyte's purse at the time?
I can't remember what his purse was. But it wasn't huge money. It wasn't like crazy money. But he is getting paid. He has been getting paid well recently, but obviously 10 million's a lot. 10 million's a lot.
Yeah.
He's asking for a bit too much.
That's a lot of money.
He's asking for that Arab money.
Cause he knows he's gonna lose, man. He knows he's gonna lose, so he's trying to make excuses.
I read somewhere on a comment that Dillian Whyte ran away from Otto to get that Tyson money, and now Tyson is running away from Dillian to get that AJ money.
Yeah, but AJ Fury is not gonna happen because AJ will lose again to Usyk.
Yeah, but I just read it somewhere, so I just thought it was funny.
Hey guys, just out of comparison. When Pacquiao fought Hatton, Pacquiao was guaranteed 12 million. Hatton was guaranteed 8 million. For that kind of guarantee, the pay-per-view has to do around 950,000 pay-per-view buys. I don't know if Dillian Whyte versus Fury can do those type of numbers, or am I wrong?
But
even in the UK,
the dollars are different back when Manny Pacquiao was in his prime to what it is now, right? And pay-per-view, Manny Pacquiao was a pay-per-view star, and I wouldn't say the same. I guess you could say the same for Tyson, but like Manny Pacquiao was a way bigger star than Tyson Fury is now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they can do those numbers. I think for Dillian Whyte to ask 10 million, I think that's ludicrous. I don't. They can't. He can't accept that. Fury will get bankrupt.
Unless it's like 5 million and then like whatever like the pay-per-view they get, like it get added on to 10 million. But
yeah, I think that's what Fury's initial offer is, 5 million plus upside on the pay-per-view. But I think Dillian Whyte.
Maybe he should fire his trainer and accuse him of spiking his water. He might get 10 million. He comes to the USA, there's a guilt-ridden white person ready to.
Wow, bro, let it go.
Let that go, man. Let that go.
Yo,
man.
Go, man.
You're doing Wilder is popular. Like it or not, Wilder is popular. He's gonna make money. He's gonna make money.
Hey, Imran, don't you got a button or something you can push to mute people and stuff? This dude right here, man. Get him up out of it, dude. Don't. You know, if you keep cancer, if you don't detect cancer, you don't try to eradicate it, it'll keep spreading. Man, get that dude up out of here, man. Why you keep on going to that, dude? You sounding whack now, man. Stop, man. Knock it off, dude.
There we go, man. Spike's had his chance. That's it. He's gone.
Yeah, man.
Bit disappointed in Spike, man. He kept going on about the same thing. Let's move on, man.
You know what's so bad, man? You know what's so bad about it? Spike was intelligent.
Yeah. That's sad.
Spike wasn't no dummy. You know?
Yeah.
But he just kept on pushing the issue, man.
Yeah.
Maybe he's high.
Yeah, he needs to.
Yo, who's this dude? I've never seen him in this conversation before.
I don't know, but he just kept going. Like I thought he was making.
Was this his first time in the live?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I'm like, what the hell?
All right, guys. So coming back to the Dillian Whyte, Tyson Fury situation, do you think it's a case he's pricing himself out the fight, or is it a case where he's trying to get the best deal for himself?
I think Imran. I think he wants to start high, and then manage himself down, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because if you start at 5 million, you know what I mean. Like Fury can negotiate it to go down, whereas if you start high, I think it's probably better.
Yeah, I'd agree.
What I think is, I think Dillian Whyte, man. I think he's a educated idiot. I think he's educated in the sense that he's so sharp and he's so cerebral that he knows that. Listen, I can really play this to my advantage. I can ask for a lot of money. I know he's gonna beat me, but I can ask for a lot of money, and I can kind of back Tyson into a corner to where Tyson would be like, okay, all right, I agree to whatever terms it is. I get beat, and I still get the 10 million. You know what I mean?
Yo, Tyson doesn't need Dillian. Dillian needs Tyson, so you better realize that. Tyson's probably gonna vacate that. He's like, yo, you want to play this game? Here, fetch this belt. He's gonna throw that belt, and then Dillian can fight some random auto violin again. I don't think Tyson needs Dillian at all.
Hey guys, isn't 5 million? That's fair, I think, because I know he didn't get that for the Povetkin fight. I don't think he even got that for the 2 fights for Povetkin. So I think 2 million is pretty good. 5 million is pretty good.
But you know what it is? I think as fans, we shouldn't care about the negotiations and money, because we're not sitting on the table. We just want to see the fights happen, right? But I don't care what the money is. I don't care
but Dillian Whyte's doing that. But no, EK, Dillian Whyte's doing that. He's the one that's throwing the monkey wrench in it. We just all sit back, waiting for the results. Wait for the announcement. So
100%.
yeah.
But I don't think Tyson needs Dillian at all. Like, I think no one's gonna complain if he never fights Dillian, because Dillian's been. I don't think he's like a top dog. I even think Andy Ruiz will beat Dillian, in my opinion.
Yeah. So what heavyweight is beating Tyson? Who do y'all think is gonna beat Tyson?
No one.
But the
Today,
best
no one. Today, no one. And all time, obviously, there's like a lot of great fighters, but like right now in this era, no one. I think he can retire after he fights AJ, because who else is he gonna fight?
Maybe Usyk has a chance.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
you agree?
I think Usyk's too small. I think. And
Yeah,
I
What do you
still
think, Steven? Usyk
Tyson's a
has a
better
chance?
I think Tyson's a better organic boxer. Like, he's like
Yeah.
rhythm. His rhythm is better than Usyk.
No, I definitely think Usyk has a chance to beat Tyson Fury, man. People sleep on Usyk, man. People sleep on Usyk too much.
They do, man.
Usyk's a great fighter.
Man, Usyk, man, he's a hell of he's a killer, man. So
Yeah,
I think so, but I think I think Tyson Fury is heads and shoulders better than him. Tyson Fury comes out of Crunk Gym. He's a former pupil of Emmanuel Stewart. So man, I think he's the best boxer in the world, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
He has the
Steven,
one of the best games.
Hey, Steven,
Yeah.
can Usyk get bigger? Because Usyk was at, I think, 232, and that was his first fight where he fought at that weight, at 230 plus. Do you reckon he can get bigger? Do you reckon he can get to about 240?
Yeah, he could. Yeah, no doubt. He probably
could, but I
240
think
now, man. I seen him. Go ahead.
The size that he was against Joshua, I think it was perfect size. I think that's the size
100%.
he would go. I think that's the size he would go in with to fight Fury as well.
Honestly, I feel like you need to work on like what you're good at. Like, that's what I think Wilder did wrong. He wanted to like bulk up, and that's why he gassed out so much. Because like you need to be who you are. Like, there's no reason for Usyk to be 250, because then he's gonna compromise his footwork. Maybe he'll get gassed out more. Obviously, he'll be heavier, but like I think he needs to use his advantages. That that's what he did.
You see that, Imran? You see that little penny, Ash? That comment that EK made was so intelligent. It was so on point. That's what we need more of. I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
So in terms of Usyk, right? I think he can beat Fury. People keep saying that he's too small, but they were saying the same thing about Joshua. That Usyk was too small. I think Usyk is a great fighter, man. People keep overlooking him. What does he have to do? Look, gold medalist, right? Cruiserweight undisputed champion. He's now a unified heavyweight champion. There comes a point where we have to say that this guy's a winner. He's a winner. He wins.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
We have to get like this. Fury's not an easy. That's not an easy fight for Fury. I tell you. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not convinced.
Imran, who would you bet if you had to bet? Who would you bet for that?
Who would I bet?
Yeah, like I'm not saying you bet, but I'm saying if you had to put your money on someone, who would you put your money on to win that fight between Usyk and
Usyk?
Tyson?
He's the more reliable of the two. He's the more consistent fighter. He doesn't go off and go crazy in between fights. He's more proven as an amateur and as a pro. He's beaten better fighters consistently throughout his career. So yeah, I'm going Usyk on that one.
You got some good points there.
No,
honestly, I disagree, but like it's all good. But like, and I want to thank Steven for the kind words before.
Oh, it's all great, my man. I watch you on the channel, man, for a long time, man. I listen to you, man, and saying you always come with sensibility and everything. So, it's. I mean, you wouldn't talk cats in it, speaking. So yeah, it's all good, man.
I'm going with Fury, guys, because I think Fury is just too big, too tall, and that jab of his for Usyk to get inside, and he has to because Fury is so long. He has to take some risks, and I think Fury will make him pay.
Yeah, and also, you know, like it wasn't like he wasn't getting touched up by AJ, and also I think like Fury, his herky jerky, like his unorthodox movements makes him a better boxer than Usyk, in my opinion. I think forget the size, forget the everything. I just think his reach and his unorthodox nature and his feints. I don't know. I just think it's too. I'm not saying obviously, and even if Usyk loses, like it doesn't do anything to his legacy. He's still a great fighter, regardless. But
and more importantly,
I would never bet on Usyk to win that fight.
If Usyk beats, if Fury beats Usyk, and also Joshua and say Dillian Whyte, is his resume better than Lennox Lewis?
No, to be honest, I never compared people with different eras because they can never fight each other, right? But his resume Lennox beat the best people in his era, and Tyson beat the best people in his era. But Muhammad Ali, the reason I put him on the top because he was the best in the golden era of heavyweight boxing, and Muhammad Ali literally beat like the top 10 guys in like Muhammad Ali's era was like they all could have been like the best champions. When it comes to Lennox Lewis, you know, he beat a Tyson who was drugged out of prison. Like, cool. He got robbed against Evander Holyfield. And then, you know, like Lennox Lewis, like, I don't like, you know, like you can always nitpick on anyone's resume. But like with Tyson Fury, he only has 2 or 3 other great competitors. And he beat Wilder. Now he has AJ and who else? I guess Usyk now. But Usyk is a newcomer to the heavyweight game, right? So I'm not too sure. Really, it's like it's too personalized. It's just all based on opinion. But like when it comes to heavyweight resumes, I always put Muhammad Ali, and then anyone else comes later.
Lennox Lewis is one of Lennox Lewis will beat Tyson Fury, no problem.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah,
I think Fury will give him problems, Imran. I don't think he'll win a cakewalk.
No, I think Lewis was too sharp. Lewis was too sharp with his jab.
He's too fast. He hits too hard. Fury,
but Tyson Fury has never been knocked out. Lennox Lewis was knocked out by Hasim Rahman.
Yeah, and Oliver McCall were like B-class fighters.
Hey man, listen, man. The boy Lennox was an ox, man. Lennox was the dude, man. He was. I mean,
he was a killer. Stephen, you know when you say killer, you know when you say killer, that and you look at killer in the dictionary, you see Lennox Lewis, man.
You see Lennox Lewis, man. Yeah, man. He was the dude, man. And you know what though? They would know each other because they both are you know, products of Emmanuel Stewart. Yeah, but I think Lennox was that dude, man. He was a dude.
Lennox's jab was fast, man.
Yeah. Right. And Ahmed, what about Lennox's right hand?
Beautiful round. I mean, if he knocked Tyson Fury down, he'd end the show.
Yeah, he would, without question.
But could you imagine the atmosphere of that?
Lennox had way more than Wild. Like the right hand, he had left hook, he had uppercuts.
Yeah,
Lennox had the full shebang, and he was fast as well. He was deceptively fast.
Definitely.
Imran, I don't think that's a cakewalk, though. I think Fury will give him a lot of problems.
The only problem is with Fury Fury is tricky and he is awkward. He's got a horrible style that will cause Lennox a bit of problems. But the thing is, Lennox is a big puncher and he can box. That's the and Lennox also and Fury don't hit hard enough, in my opinion, to trouble Lennox. I don't think
I don't think Lennox Lewis would be scared of Fury's power.
But Imran, Fury will get up with all of those what Lennox will give him, because Fury got up against Wilder, who's a harder puncher, Wilder or Lennox Lewis?
Lewis was more precise. Lewis had precision. Wilder's just wild, isn't he? Lewis knew when to punch, how to punch. You know.
Lewis was a monster. I don't know if Fury could beat Lewis, man. Lewis was a killer.
Yeah, he was killing.
Lewis was a very, very good fighter. I don't know if
Let me tell
Fury
you
could
something, man.
to handle that kind of heat.
Let me tell y'all something, man. Like the early 2000s and stuff, man. There was a time where I looked at Lennox Lewis and I thought to myself, like, for sure he's gonna get beat by because of Vitaly and Vladimir.
Vitaly, yeah.
Yeah, they ruled the heavyweight division. But me and my brother watched that fight, man. I was like, Lennox Lewis is a god, man. That dude right there is incredible. You know what I'm saying? So, and then and that's when it's crazy because that's when I first started following Tyson Fury. I was like, okay, man. And so I seen the way Tyson Fury approached the game. Like, he's named after Mike Tyson, and he's fearless. That dude don't care, man. And I just like, and I was like, plus he could box too. It's like, this dude right here is gonna be incredible. And sure enough, that's when I banked on that turned out correct. It turned out exactly how I figured it was. Because I said, man, ain't nobody gonna, that dude right there, if he gets everything together, man, he's gonna be heavyweight champion of the world, and he's gonna rule. And that's exactly what he's doing now.
Does AJ have a chance against him, Stephen? Fury?
No. He doesn't. And you know why? Because AJ right here, his mental is compromised. Yeah. AJ has, I would say he has some of the tools, but he's just not mentally there. He gets beat right here. When you see him get beat by Usyk, it was right here. It was right here. And that's not taking anything from Usyk because Alexander Usyk is he's a champion. But somebody like Usyk is going to take advantage of somebody like AJ because it's right up here. It's right here. That's the key to it all. It's here. That's what these fighters don't be understanding. Floyd beat you right here before y'all even put on gloves. Before they even threw one punch, Floyd had you already beat right here. Mighty Mike Tyson, it was right here. They had the psychology, the psychology. That's what was Mike Tyson's trainer name? What was his name?
Customato.
Customato, yeah. Customato. That's where he started at. He started right here. He didn't start with the physical. He started right here because if you build them up right here, they're impenetrable. And that's one thing Floyd had together. That's one thing Canelo has right now. Canelo, and I want to, rough no feathers, but Canelo has this right now. You know Canelo is going to be the favorite. You know you got a long way up the hill to climb before you beat Canelo. He already beat you right here. And I see that Wavy Davy, he don't care about none of that. He don't care about this. He just wants to fight. So I think it's gonna be real interesting. But yeah, man, that's my take on it. Y'all, I mean, does anybody disagree with what I'm saying?
No,
not at all.
Not me.
But I have a question for everyone. Who would you favor in AJ versus Wilder right now, after Wilder has been in 3 wars with all the damage he's taken from Fury? Keep that in mind. But AJ obviously is mentally, like Steven said, he's not mentally as strong. So if they were to fight right next, like say in next year, like who would you guys have? I think it's still 50-50 just based on those 2 scenarios.
I want to hear what I thinks. I.
Who's I?
He's on the chat.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's up,
Yeah, I've
Bob?
just been quiet this whole time, man. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Hey, sorry about the other dude, man. He was all kinds of wrong. Just never bummed in. But
What's up?
anyway, now what was the question?
So who would you guys have in a fight in Wilder versus AJ? And keep in mind all the damage Wilder took in his last 3 fights and the mental state of AJ. If they were to fight next year, who would you guys have winning?
I go with AJ just because he's a better boxer. I feel like he has more skills. Wilder, I think after losing to Fury, I don't think his mind's gonna be in the right place either.
Or his body, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But I don't know. I think that's still 50. How about everyone else?
I would favor him against Fury as well.
I want to hear what Anthony's gonna say.
Ahmed.
I'd go for Wilder because I think mentally he's a bit stronger than AJ, and I think it will come down to the mental aspect.
Yeah, I'm going for Wilder too, man, because I think AJ he's too chinny, man. Wilder only has to land something to AJ, and AJ will go down. And I don't think AJ will get up, even though I think AJ will want to get up. I don't think he will get up based on his mental state at the moment. I think he'll stay down. I think that's where AJ, unless he beats Usyk in the rematch, right? If he beats miraculously, if he beats Usyk in the rematch, and then AJ fights Wilder, I would then favor AJ, but because I don't think he will beat Usyk in the rematch, and that will devastate AJ's mindset. I still think that AJ takes that fight because it's a huge money fight in England, but I think Wilder embarrasses him, to be honest.
Well, you know what I think, man. It's it comes down to a situation where it's you got to analyze it deeply, and again, the psychology of AJ tells me that somebody like Deontay was letting all hang out. He was letting it all hang out when he fought Tyson Fury the last time. He put his life on the line. So he's gonna put his life on the line every time. We seen him. Deontay Wilder was in bad shape. He was in real bad shape. I don't know if AJ is willing to go to the furthest extent. Yeah. Deontay went to the furthest extent, and somebody like AJ, who's like, I was reading the article earlier, and Usyk was talking about how strange. Did anybody else read this article?
Yeah, I read that. I saw that.
Yeah, he was talking about how strange Anthony Joshua was acting, man. He might have some mental issues, dude. Seriously. I'm not trying to make anybody laugh.
Or maybe, Steven, maybe AJ is just too domesticated at the moment.
It could be. But whatever the case is, you take a killer, you put a killer in the ring with him, he's going to devour him. Yeah. What would happen if they threw you, Lil Penny? If they threw Lil Penny in the Lions den, what's going to happen? You going to come out on top?
Lil Penny's going to come out with the lion skulls around his neck as a necklace.
I think AJ is finished mentally. I think he's not there anymore.
But Steven,
yeah, I agree.
Steven, I want to make this point. I don't know if anyone else, or actually for the whole crowd, I don't think Wilder's team right now, that they went into the third fight into what's it called? I don't think his team is strong, and I don't think Wilder is too his IQ, because he knew in the first 2 fights he got gassed in the second fight a lot because of his weight, right? In the third fight, I'm watching the second, third round, he's like breathing heavy already because I don't like the first fight he blamed it whatever he blamed it on, but the third fight he was all same thing happened again. So the strategy really, I didn't see anything different other than the first round where he just went to the body a lot. But then I feel like Wilder, I don't know. I just don't know what's like.
But EK, well, the reason why Wilder took that third fight is because he thinks that it was stopped prematurely by his trainer. I can't remember.
No, I'm not saying why he took it or why he didn't, but I'm saying the strategy. Like
his strategy.
Yeah, I just think like
his strategy is to knock out Fury because Wilder has a one-hitter quitter. So
Yeah,
that's his strategy. He nearly did it too in the third round, right? He knocked it down twice.
But LP, I'm saying he was already so tired in the second round. Like there's something's up with like Wilder. Like he's been so tired. Like,
I get what EK's saying. I get what he's saying. EK. Well, let me say this real quick. EK saying that Deontay needs to go back to the drawing board. He needs to go back to the whiteboard and picture this. Everything, your whole strategy is on the whiteboard. He needs to get a eraser with some water, not just the eraser, because with the eraser you can still see remnants of what your old strategy was. He needs to get some water, spray it on there, and wipe it clean and start fresh with a new, improved strategy. Is that what you're saying? Because I think that I think the same thing.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
All I'm saying is like something is going on where he's always tired in like second, third round of the last two fights. There's something happening in the first fight. You know, even in the 12th round, he was like dancing.
Why.
Yeah, you know, he was dancing because of the weight. You know, in the first fight, he was like, I think he was like 210 or 215, but in second fight, he's like 230, and now in the 240. Like I don't know what. Obviously, I don't know the weight, but like there's something like his dietitian. I'm just saying his whole team. There's something wrong because he's getting tired. He's getting tired in the second, third round. In the last two
he's
fights,
got some stamina issues. He's got some stamina issues. I mean, I was just thinking if it was somebody like Lennox Lewis, he would have. I mean, Fury was there for the taking really after that third round, and somebody like Lennox Lewis would have finished him off.
Yeah, and you know the only reason Fury didn't get obviously the bell issue, and like Deontay was tired when he knocked down. He was like dead tired when he knocked down Fury, but he still threw that punch. Obviously, like Deontay has way more heart than like most fighters. I'm not saying anything about his heart. I'm just saying like the way he gets tired so quickly in a fight, there's something wrong.
But EK, I don't think Fury can like what Stephen was saying. He needs to add some water. I think at his age, I don't think he's capable of doing that. Like his learning phase is now gone. I think he should just do what he does best, knocking people out. And I think against AJ, I think that's good enough. I think he knocks out AJ.
No, I'm not saying like to change everything. I'm just saying there's something happening where he gets tired in the last two fights. In his whole career, I've never noticed how quickly he's gotten tired. Or like, you know, he's breathing heavy on the stool. Like there's something up in the second or third round. Like why in the second and third round? Why is he so tired already? I saw it in the second fight.
Hey man, what time is it where everybody at, man?
It's 8 o'clock.
1 o'clock here in the UK.
4:03.
It's 8 o'clock in Toronto.
Shoot, man, I think I'm about to get up out for her, man, and you know what I'm saying.
What time is it?
I'm from Oklahoma City, man. It's 7 o'clock exactly, 6:59 here.
It's 7:59.
Where you at?
I'm at Toronto, Canada.
So y'all an hour ahead of us?
Yeah, I'm at it's 8 now. So yeah, an hour, directly an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Imran's like he's probably like 6 a.m. right there. Imran's crazy, bro. I don't know when he gets sleep.
No, it's 1 o'clock here.
Yeah, bro. When do you sleep, Imran, or do you just like?
Yeah, I do. After this, I'm gonna get bed. But we're on holidays right now, so obviously it's like chilling. So it's
Imran, I was on YouTube the other day, and for my algorithms showed that you had a live stream for Pacquiao versus was it Pacquiao versus Thurman, and I really enjoyed it, dude. You should do more of that. I really like that.
I can't even remember if I did that. Did I do one?
Yeah, you did. Pacquiao Thurman, you did a live stream where you kind of like commentated during the fight, and I love your reaction when Pacquiao knocked down Thurman. You, your father, and Salman, you guys went nuts.
Yeah,
Hey man,
yeah.
you know what? You know what? The next he's right about that. That's something that you should do. So the next
Yeah.
fight, you do, man.
Yo,
You know,
Imran's got to do that for a Khan versus Brook. You got to record your reaction or something because I know how much you love Khan.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. Like, the thing is, you know why it's hard? Like with that, because like, you know, with that, yeah, probably my whole family's gonna be watching that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be like, and then obviously, you know, when you've got the volume on, you can't really have the volume on, can you? That's the only thing.
no, you can't. But you can like talk, man, because you know, I watch a couple of guys, man. You know, I be on a couple more channels, and you know, those guys they have those lives, man, and that really boosts your channel up.
Yeah, 100%.
So, man, you know, I'll come on with you, man, on one of those fights, like a big fight. I'll come on, and you know, kind of like. But I think you should really consider that.
Yeah. I will. Especially for the American ones as well. I think they'll be massive. Like, what big fights have we got coming up? Like in America.
Just Ugas,
Ugas and Spence. There's nothing. Hopefully we get Crawford Spence next year. That'd be massive.
Or the end of the year.
Canelo, get that. That'd be massive.
Yeah, Imran. I think if Spence beats Ugas, I think we'll see that fight, that Spence Crawford fight, because Crawford is now a free agent, so he's got no excuse, right? We all know Spence is going to take that fight because you know that's what his mentality is. So I think we'll see that fight.
I don't know if he's gonna take the fight though, man. I don't know if he's gonna, you know. What you mean, like beats? I don't know if he's gonna beat Ugas.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
Yeah. It's gonna be a tough fight against Ugas. It's not gonna be easy.
Yeah,
but you know what would be amazing?
Ahmed's a big Crawford fan, Steven, so we need to get Ahmed's opinion on this.
Yeah,
Ahmed,
I think
it's what did you make of Crawford Porter, by the way, Ahmed?
Oh, it was a great fight, and I think Crawford wasn't at his best, to be honest with you. But it still shows, you know, great fighters, even when they're not on the A game, and that they can finish the job. And that's exactly what happened. I don't think he was at his best. But to stop Sean Porter coming from lightweight, being a lightweight coming up, it was amazing.
Ahmed, I got if they fight
got
right
his
now,
opinion about that. Steven's got his opinion about being the stoppage.
Come on, Steven.
Well,
lightweight coming up and stopping somebody who natural welterweights weren't able to stop. In Spence and Thurman, natural welterweights weren't able to stop Sean Porter, and a lightweight coming up.
Kenny Porter stopped Sean Porter. Kenny Porter stopped him, not Sean Porter. Kenny
Porter needs a box rank. Kenny Porter needs a box rank.
I mean, Sean Porter was if Kenny Porter didn't stop it, Sean Porter would have got KO'd, not just TKO. It would have been a KO. Knocked out of the ring.
And that's why we watch boxing. Yeah, that's why we watch boxing.
You know what with Steven and Ahmed, you know what I really don't like? How Kenny Porter took away from that win by saying Sean Porter wasn't ready. He wasn't training well enough. Like, why even say that to the public? Why make excuses? I really hated that. If he wasn't ready, keep that in private. Like, why you gotta like say that while your son is like standing right next to you? Like, or like, if you know,
maybe he just didn't listen to Kenny Porter in the training camp.
Yeah, but like, why even say that to the public? There's some things that are like, you know, your son is retiring no matter what he told you before the fight. Why ruin the moment? I don't know. I really hated that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Hey, Lil Penny, I watched that interview with old girl on Jalen Rose. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah. Cool, man. Cool.
Jalen Rose.
But
who's Jalen Rose? Yeah. Isn't he a basketball player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened with him?
Tell him, Lil Penny.
Sorry?
I said, tell him what happened with Jalen Rose.
This is more of a basketball topic, but they had Jalen Rose has got some beef with Chris Webber, and He's also got some beef with Stephen A. Smith. He's got Jalen Rose is like that guy's an interesting character, man. Like,
yo, he played for the Raptors, man. I remember when Kobe dropped 81 points. I remember that commercial he made.
Yes.
That was the funniest shit ever. Like, how many rocks did he like? 81.
By the way,
but I'm about to get up out of here.
Basketball's not a big sport here in the UK, so it's like you're talking like algebra right now. You know what I mean? Because basketball in the UK is just not a big thing, man. Unless you're like a hardcore boxing fan.
Although Imran, whenever the NBA goes overseas, they always go to London to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But they also go to India too, so like that doesn't really mean anything. NBA goes to India too once in a while. It doesn't really mean anything.
No, EK. I meant like not like an exhibition game, like a real game. Sometimes they go to England. Yeah. Same with the NFL. They have regular season games in London.
I think Imran, I think you'd like it if you actually watch like a game, like watch the finals this year, like whenever, and then I think you really like it. I think it's very high pace.
He definitely. Yeah.
Hey Imran, just a quick question. When are we going to see that Brook versus Khan face off on or is it Gloves? Gloves are off with Sky Sports.
I think they'll probably release it soon.
Okay.
I think they'll release it soon. That'll be some fireworks.
Because that's some corny shit. You already know what they're gonna say. Brook is gonna be like, you have a weak chin. Khan's gonna be like, oh, you propose every time you get on your knees and quit. It's gonna be like back and forth. It's gonna be the same shit.
Yo, but
I like it though. It's
on one of the videos saying Brook said that he's got a few chocolate brownies left.
Yeah.
What is that? That's like the dumbest like tagline. Like, why does? At first, I thought he meant like shit. Like, I thought this guy's always talking about he has to take a shit.
Yo, Spence ended that though. Spence ended that because Spence, after the fight, after he beat Brook, he was eating chocolate brownies, and he tweeted Brook after the fight eating chocolate brownies.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. That was
Imran. Imran, what does chocolate brownie mean?
After the fight, Spence celebrated his win by eating chocolate brownies. That was brilliant. That was great.
Yo, Imran, what does chocolate brownie mean? Like chocolate, like brownies are soft.
It basically means like a hard punch, like
really, but brownies are soft. Brownies are not known. Like maybe he's cooking them wrong in England. I don't know how you guys have your brownies, but they're squishy and mushy.
I don't know. I think it's I don't know. I think it's just a reference, just to like I'm getting them nice and cooked. You know what I mean? Them nice and ripe. So when I land them on your chin and stuff, but with Spence was like, that's lame, man. Spence didn't like that, Spence
I feel like if someone threw brownies on my face, I'd be like, yo, thanks for the dessert. Like,
but y'all want to know something for real, man? Spence he kind of an a-hole, man. He really is. The dude, he don't like to play around. He's just all serious all the time, man. He's no fun, man. That's why I like dudes like Tony Harrison and Ricardo York and all them.
Crawford's quite fun though, eh?
I think he had too much fun in the Ferrari.
Crawford's quite fun. Like, you can tell he's a bit of a funny guy. Crawford.
Yeah.
Spence looks a bit too serious for me. Like, he looks a bit like.
But that's just personalities, right? I just feel like maybe Spence has a farm. Maybe his fun is like riding a horse or something. I watch Headbacks videos and shit.
Hey guys, had Brook not fought Triple G and his eye was
yes, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say.
And he fought Brook, right? And Brook fought Spence. What would have been the outcome in that fight?
I think Brook might have beaten him. Brook might.
Let me tell you this. Hey man, let me tell you this. Serious, real talk. All jokes aside, Brooks was Kel was a killer, man. He was a killer, man. He could have beat him, man. All jokes aside, man, Kel was that good, dude.
Yeah, he was.
I think he would have beaten Spence, No chance.
No, he might have beaten him.
I don't think Spence knocks him out though. I think it goes to the distance and it goes on.
I think he would have, I think he would have, I don't know. I think Kel was a bit of a bully, where like he could give it, but if someone could take what he's got and give it back to him, I don't think he could take it for that long. I think Spence has proven that he can take it and he can give it.
But Imran, Brook lasted what 10 rounds against Spence with a bad eye?
Yeah,
No,
11,
but
11,
no, but let's get that right. He didn't have a bad eye. That bad eye happened in the 7th round. In the 7th round, early on in the fight, he didn't have a bad eye.
Yeah, but he was winning in the first. He was winning the first half of the fight.
Yeah, a couple of rounds. Then Spence. Yeah, but here's the thing. A lot of people always say that because of his bad eye. But Spence caused that bad eye.
No, but originally he was.
At the end of the day, like you can't say, well, a bad eye, but Spence caused him to break his eye.
Yeah, and there's no denying Spence is a better talent than Brook. He's a better fighter, and throughout from when he started to now, if you look at both of their career, like both of them as fighters,
better talent than who?
Obviously a better fighter. Spence is a better fighter than Brook, no questions. From from like how they see their careers going, it's just Spence is a way better fighter in my opinion, and he showed it when he fought.
Smith is right, and it was different eye from Triple G. I thought it was Triple G that ruined that eye.
No, his other eye broke.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was yeah.
You know, he just got some weak eyes, man.
No, everyone has weak eyes. It's our job to defend. Like it's your job to defend it, bro. Like
I don't know about that, though, because like some people may have a genetical issue. You know what I mean? Where certain parts of their body are weaker, but it's just kind of strange that his eye broke and then his other eye broke. I reckon when he broke his eye against Golovkin, I reckon is that area became sensitive. Hence why Spence broke the other one.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's true because you can like there's a show in America called 600 Pound Life, and 600 Pound Life it chronicles like super obese people, like they're like 600, 700, 800 pounds, and you ask yourself like, how could somebody eat that much food to get 800 pounds? That person has to have a genetic predisposition to that gene making them obese like that. You know, some people have the we all it's a matter of genetics. That's why I was talking about.
It's called the Popeyes genes.
Okay,
it's called that like Southern cooking, It's called that Louisiana biscuits.
Guys, moving back to Canelo, I wanted to ask you, how do you think he'll fare in the 175-pound division? Because he's saying he's going to go there now.
I think he'll do fine there.
I don't know. Honestly, like the fight needs to like be signed. Like I feel like everyone's going to be talking about it. Like it's going to be like like it's something official. Like who knows what's gonna happen? But
I think he cleans out 175 division, but it'll definitely be way harder than what he did at 168.
Yeah, I agree. I think.
Do you think he can beat? Do you think he can beat Bivol at 175?
Yeah, 100%. I think. Yeah. I think if anyone, Bivol and the other guy, Joe Smith. What is it, Joe Smith? Or what is his name? I think those are the easier fights for Canelo. I think the main fight, the hardest better be it.
Steven loves Bivol. Steven and Ahmed love Bivol.
Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah, he's very good. He's a good boxer. He's good with his feet. He's got enough power to respectable power. And I think Canelo and them have swerved him. That's my personal opinion.
No, I think Canelo has good defense and he's good. Sorry, go ahead, Steven.
I was just gonna say Canelo, he'll never fight Dimitri Bivol in a million gazillion years. It's never gonna happen.
Steven, Bivol was Canelo chose Bivol as a backup if the Plant, when Plant was being a little tough on the negotiations, he had Bivol was the backup for that fight apparently.
168.
It's easy talking about it. It's easy talking about it, getting it out in public, but it doesn't mean someone's gonna fight the person. I think personally, the management, the new Bivol's a good boxer. He's got enough power. He's got the foot movement, everything, and he could probably outbox Canelo over 12 rounds. I think.
But I just at 175, I just hope that Canelo doesn't put in catchweights and rehydration clauses because he is the A side. He can do whatever he wants, and all of those guys will probably accept because of the money. I just hope that he doesn't do that, because if it does, it will. After he fights Makabu, which is like seen as like a cherry pick, right? Which I'll give him a pass. But then if he fights Beterbiev and puts on a catchweight or rehydration clause, then that's when I'll say, no, I don't give him a pass on that one. He has to fight him at that weight, the rehydration clauses.
Definitely.
Well, hey guys, I got to get up out of here, man. I'm about to eat and stuff, man. I enjoyed everybody, man. It's always good talking to y'all.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna probably end it as well, man. It's late now.
No problem.
I appreciate everyone coming on, man. Ahmed, Little Penny, EK, as always.
Yeah, man, no problem.
You guys. I'm probably gonna do one again tomorrow, to be honest. Let's see what news comes out tomorrow, and we'll do another one tomorrow. Maybe I'll try doing it a bit earlier tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, cool. Y'all take it easy.
Yeah,
you too, everyone.
Care, Steve. Take care, EK.
All right, see you guys.
Ahmed, Little Penny, take care, everyone. Peace out.
Bye.